Good afternoon. Welcome to TESPN's broadcast of today's Prep League football game. It's homecoming here at Trinity as the Titans welcome the visitors from Woodbury Forest School. The Tigers come in at 2-4. Titans come in at 5-3. Big game here on homecoming. Great crowd here already. Silvio, what are you looking for in today's battle?
I am looking for in this game, a very well-picked game, homecoming night, last in-season game, and I do believe that we have never beaten Woodbury in a game. So I think, that's some big motivation for the team, but I am also looking for, we do have some injured players, see how, the team, even though a little broken, see how they can recuperate and get those points on the board.
Yeah, so I want to talk for a second about the point you just made that in football, Titans have never beaten Woodbury in school history. Now, just to give a little context, from the late 1980s through like 2005, Trinity didn't play football, and then reinstituted the program about 15 years ago, and the first several years didn't play Woodbury. So when you say it's never beat them, it's not like we're 0-60, but these two teams did start playing about 5 years ago, and the Tigers have won each time. So big motivation there. Also, from Trinity standpoint, in the state rankings, Titans fell to third after last week's loss at St. Christopher's. The top four make it, so we're in good position to at least make the tournament. But if you want that semifinal home game, then you need to get to number 2. So it's a must-win for us to have any chance of hosting a state playoff game, and you and I being back up here in this press box, hopefully
Yes.
alongside Jeffrey and our crew in 2 weeks. So a lot on the line. Beating Woodbury for the first time ever is motivation. Getting a state tournament home game is motivation, and always you want to win on homecoming. Lots of alums back. Already got a packed student section, so
Really
it's
packed.
all to play for the Titans. But Woodbury also is going to be highly motivated, and they're coming off a 49-0 win last week against Catholic High School. So they have some good momentum, and we'll pause for a minute here for the national anthem. The Titan Pep Band.
Always nice to have the pep band come out and play for the Titans here.
Yeah, Mr. Rollins, who has been the director of the Pep Band for over 20 years now, does an incredible job. He is
sure.
a Trinity Hall of Famer, in fact, for his contributions as the Pep Band adds so much to our sporting events, particularly football and basketball games. So great to hear them back. And I know the alums are also gonna be excited to hopefully hear the fight song a bunch of times today and cast those memories back to their own high school days, whether it was young men who are now men who played football or just people who are fans of the team, not necessarily former players, but just Titan alums who are back in large numbers today. And also last night at the reunions and the Oyster Roast, incredible crowds for just great to see so many familiar faces and just see that pride that Titan Nation has in their alma mater. So we're going to kick this thing off. Titans set to receive the opening kick.
Pretty happy to see Trey out there, see what he can do with this opening kick.
Yeah, Trey Ferguson always a threat. Anytime he gets the ball in his
Oh, yeah.
hands, whether it's in the return game or catching passes, uh, coming out of the backfield, Trey is an electric player who is just a big play guy for this Titan team. Looks like Lucas Osada is going to kick it off for the Tigers. Lucas out of Charlottesville, Virginia. And we'll talk some about the hometowns that the Woodbury players come from. It is, of course, a boarding school, so they've got guys from all over. And it's a great kickoff by Osada as it goes through the end zone. So big foot
Yeah.
there, and Titans will take over at the 20.
The Titans will recover to start the game.
Coach Bell, offensive coordinator for the Titans, giving some final instructions to the starting offense. Jack Toscano, the quarterback, he's been, of course, in and out this year with some injuries, but great to see the senior coming out behind center. He'll take the snap out of the shotgun with Mario Thompson behind him at the tailback position. And it's a play-action fake to Thompson. Good job by the Tiger defense. Connor Lasan batted that ball down.
I did notice that Hunter Brooks is not in this the playing. He is on the bench. I do believe he is playing today. I'm just not really sure he's playing offense.
Yeah, so Hunter, of course, one of the incredible Titan defenders. Sometimes plays on offense as well,
Yeah.
but at least not to start the game. 2nd and 10. Does a really nice job defensively there on the opening play from scrimmage by Woodbury. And this one is a run as the ball's handed off to Mario Thompson. He picks up just about a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
Picks up about 5 yards.
And on this 3rd and long, as the Tigers look for a 3 and out here right off the bat. Toscano looks over to the sidelines for some instructions. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 out to his right. And it's flushed out of the pocket. Toscano's pass is incomplete. He was looking for AK Key, but well covered. And that's a nice job by the Tigers defense to force the Titans into an early punt. And, of course, the punter is also quarterback Jack Toscano, or I guess I should say also punter Jack Toscano. And I know Jack, we've talked about this, and if you saw him on our season preview on TESPN, he takes a lot of pride in his kicking as well. And that's a pretty good one, a little bit low, but takes a nice Titan bounce. And that's actually going to be about a close to 50-yard punt. Rolls back a little, but a 48-yard punt by Jack Toscano to flip the field position. And was downed, I believe, by Trey Grant, and Tigers will take over at their own 31. So, Silvio, not the start the Titans would have wanted offensively there. What did you see?
I mean, I definitely saw like the Woodbury defense on fire right there. Really big play from Connor Lasan to really get that early defense in. I think the Titans are going to be a little upset with themselves, so they weren't really able to get anywhere with that starting offense that they probably really wanted to.
Yeah, and I do think after last week's decisive defeat for Trinity at St. Christopher's, a game that was very close for a half, but the Saints really pulled away in the second half. So you got to feel like the Titans, confidence might have taken a little bit of a hit, but there's that defense. And that was Lewis Jones the third with a sack. A lot of pressure by Connor Erlenbach as well, and it's a great start for the Titans on the defensive end. That they throw the Tiger quarterback for a 10-yard loss.
Mr. Hamlin, you know who 88 is on the Titan team?
I believe the 88 is Robbie Dunn.
Okay, thank you. I definitely saw him getting in there.
Yeah, he was in there as well. For some reason, the roster doesn't go down. Or I guess he's 66 in the roster, but I'm pretty sure he wears 88 now. As it goes to 2nd and 20. And Harley Shuford, the quarterback, hands off. And not much there for the Tigers. Picked up maybe a couple. The ball carrier, Tank Yakubi.
Oh, yeah. Saw Elijah Rayner on that play.
Yeah, Elijah in on the tackle. Of course, Zaire Rayner, his brother, is one of the injured Titans, unfortunately, today.
think James Woodward is subbing for him.
Yeah, James Woodward is starting at one cornerback position, and actually Trey Ferguson out at corner. I know for most of the season Trey's only
wow.
played on offense, but they've
Yeah.
got him going both ways now as well. All right, 3rd and long here. Titan student section making some noise. Pass is complete, but a nice tackle. So Anthony Leo made the catch, but James Woodward was right there.
Yeah.
Woodward, a fan favorite and a favorite of ours at only 5'7", about 140 pounds, but he lays the wood on the receiver there, and Tigers able to pick up about 7 or 8 yards, but nowhere close to a first down on that one.
Starting out the game, both defenses look on fire, and I think the offensive coordinator's got to be right now thinking, how can we get past these strong defense? I mean, looking strong defense right now.
For sure. So, but yeah, both teams go 3 and out. And just to pick up on what I was saying a minute ago, Woodbury comes in off the back of a 49-0 victory against Catholic High School, and the Titans lost by 38 at St. Chris. So that, for me, means that it's really important to see which team grabs momentum first. Will the Titans be able to gain their confidence back, and that defensive stand will help them do that? Or will the Tigers build on what they were able to do last week? And that punt traveled about a 35-yard punt, and the Titans will take over at their own 33. No return on the punt, but a flip of field position a little bit as Toscano's punt traveled about
a little farther,
15 yards further than the Woodbury punt did. So the Titans, when they last had the ball, were back at their own 21, and they're now out to the 33 for this second offensive possession here in the first quarter. Toscano's pass complete to Trey Ferguson. Ferguson carries defenders, and it is going to be a first down. 11-yard gain to Ferguson there.
Really getting in that big pile there. Really pushing that one.
Yeah, so impressed with the leg strength and overall strength of Trey Ferguson. He's listed at 5'7", 165, but he dragged about 4 defenders there for several yards and enough to pick up the Titans' first down of the day out to the 45-yard line. Handoff to Trey Grant. Goes out to the right side, lowers his head, and picks up about 7 on the play. Silvio, I know Trey is a player that you've really enjoyed watching this year.
For sure.
Talk about what makes Trey such an effective running back, the sophomore.
I mean, I just think, as the coach said, as we've heard, he has just a good vision. I mean, he's able to find those open gaps, and, he isn't like the tallest dude, but he is big, and he's able to, really get his body in there and really just able to find and make those good gaps for him to run.
Yeah, absolutely. He also can dish out punishment. A lot of times you think of the defenders being the ones dishing out the punishment, but Trey he will lower the boom on defenders for sure, and he's going to get the ball again this time and hits that hole and knocks some defenders out of the way. Right on cue, just what we were saying.
Exactly.
Silvio, you talked about his vision, and I talked about his physicality, and we saw them both right there on that 11-yard run as he first found a little gap in the defense and then put a couple of defenders on the ground to pick up 11 yards and a first down. And Trey also, I think, has that prototypical running back just build that you like to see, low center of gravity, really strong. And now they come with Mario Thompson as the Titans have kind of the 1-2 punch going with the 2 running backs. This time Thompson picks up another first down. I think about 13-yard gain there, all the way to the 25 of the Tigers. And really some momentum. And now it's a quarterback keeper as Toscano looked to follow his blockers. But Woodbury sniffed it out pretty well.
Yeah.
Number 58, Jay Owens, and number 40, Braden Lasan, in on the tackle, and no gain there. So it'll be 2nd and 10 as the Titans go no huddle.
Mr. Hamlin, how do you think, Woodbury coming off of a fire defense, and now running backs are able to find holes?
Yeah, exactly. And I think last week the Titans weren't able to run very much, partially because they got behind and really had to rely on trying to score quickly.
Yeah.
So they never really established the running game, but I think that was a point of emphasis this week coming into this game is to get the running game going, to get the ball in the hands of Thompson and Grant, and let those offensive linemen go downhill a little bit. And this time they do. What a ball thrown by Toscano. Beautiful touch on that pass as he floated it right over the defensive line to Trey Ferguson. As Ferguson gets down inside the 10, steps out of bounds at the 9, it'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, what I was talking about with offensive linemen, I think, and certainly you and I have not played on the offensive line, but those big guys, I think that they love to run the ball because that's when they get to go downhill versus when pass blocking, you know, it's not as aggressive an opportunity for the O-lineman. So I think they really enjoy getting to be the aggressor, put their stamp on things, and they take a lot of pride in those running plays. So the Titans this drive have mixed it up with both. Some good passes, some good runs, and now they throw it to the end zone, but the ball was overthrown, intended for Ferguson. Looked like Asa McManamy on the coverage there.
Almost had that one.
Yeah, out of Savannah, Georgia. Nice job there by McManamy. And it'll be 2nd and goal. So far, Toscano has really looked for Trey Ferguson. This time, Toscano's going to keep it himself. He's dragging defenders close to the end zone, and he is going to be marked down, I think, at the 1-yard line.
It's got to be really close there.
Really close. He reached that ball out. I think Toscano would have liked to see the referee's arms go up, but he was right on the play. So it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1 as the Titans look to snap it quickly. And there are flags, and it was a false start. That's a back-breaking penalty right there. 3rd and goal from the 1. Now you back yourself up to the 6. Still an opportunity, but, man, that's a tough one. You know, you had them right where you wanted them, and now it sort of changes what you're able to do from a play calling standpoint.
Definitely trying to go for that quick start, trying to get that, get the defense off their, not on their toes yet. And,
Yeah, I mean, Woodbury looked like they weren't really lined up.
Yeah, definitely saw Trey and I believe Brennan out there that looked like there was only one blocker for them.
There's a touchdown. So the penalty doesn't end up mattering.
It's Brennan Ridgely right there, the catch.
Brennan Ridley, that's right, the sophomore with a great touchdown reception. Really happy to see Ridley get in the end zone.
Yeah.
He was having a pretty good game at St. Chris last week, but did have a crucial fumble that I know he was pretty upset at himself.
Yeah.
That was a big play in that game, but he gets off to a wonderful start today. Really nice route he ran there. Just a great up and in route where he just was able to cut off the defender, and Toscano put it perfectly on a plate. And Ridley with the touchdown to get the Titans on the scoreboard first. And now, as the play clock goes under 10 seconds, it's going to be Jack Toscano to take the extra point. We've seen at times J.D. Stemhagen take them, and we do have another flag, as I think the Titans may have
too many men.
That's what I was thinking, but
I did see Trey run out there pretty fast.
No, it's actually going to be offsides on Woodbury. So now, unlike the penalty for the Titans that moved the ball from the 1 all the way back to the 6, this won't move it very far forward with just the half the distance.
Yeah,
moves it from about the 2 to the 1, but
makes it a little easier on the Toscano there.
Little easier, although that snap was not a very good one. But Tegan Logan was able to get it down. It's a great job by the holder, Tegan Logan. Also, the backup quarterback, who's, of course, Tegan has seen a lot of time at quarterback this year when Toscano was out. But, I mean, that is a huge play. And also a great job by Jack because the timing was thrown off, but Toscano was still able to connect on the extra point. And that makes it 7-0. And, Silvio, we hear the pep band playing the fight song.
Yeah.
And it's always great to hear that song. You know things are going well when you hear Onward Titans. And, it occurs to me because there were no really athletic events last year that students were able to attend, that for you as a 10th grader, you may not even know the words to the fight song yet.
I don't know the words to the fight song.
Well, good thing we got him right here on the roster for you.
Nah, that's good.
All right, we got to make a deal here, Silvio. If we do have the opportunity to host a state playoff game in 2 weeks, you need to know the words to the fight song by the time that game kicks off. But yeah, that's like always a rite of passage for Titan students to learn the fight song at football and basketball games. But last year, we didn't get a chance to teach everybody. So it's a cool song. Makes me happy when I hear it. All right, so short
JD
little,
there.
yeah, JD Stemhagen with a little pooch kick that was fielded nicely by Tate Whitmer, the senior wide receiver from Alexandria, Virginia. He fair caught it, and
Cornell right there to make sure he wasn't going anywhere.
yeah, it looks like they're gonna have to kick it again. I don't see a flag, but
I'm not sure.
I guess there was a flag, so not sure if the Titans jumped off sides there. Haven't seen the referee's signal.
Offsides on the Titans, and we'll do the
Okay,
kick
so
again.
confirmed it was offsides, and so that's gonna make them have to re-kick.
See what JD can do here, because I think he might not have been so happy with that short kick. So
Yeah, will he look to boot it deep or go with another short one? We'll see. Does put a little more into this one. It's going to be fielded at about the 16-yard line, and that's Hunter Rockhill. Bring the ball out past the 25.
Hunter Rockhill receives J.D. Simhagen's kick. Woodbury takes over at the 30.
So, did you see who made that tackle? Was it Jay
I
Williams?
was not able to see who got that tackle.
Yeah, I saw Jay Williams at least near the ball carrier.
Yeah. Definitely saw a big tackle there. Definitely saw
Yeah, it
someone out there.
it was a good tackle by one of the Titan special teams players. Today we don't have our normal spotter, Jonah Barzell, as he's entertaining his homecoming date, so it's a little harder for us on the tackles, but we'll do our best as the Tigers go deep on first down, and that's a great job in coverage by James Woodward.
Yeah.
He was step for step with the intended receiver. So Jaden Ferguson. Jaden Ferguson is 6'3". James Woodward 5'7". So that's an 8-inch height advantage for the receiver. And yet Woodward, Woody as they call him, just was step for step. They looked to pick on the little man, but he showed that that was not something that was going to happen on that play.
Probably, yeah. You will see a lot of running by James Woodbury today. They're probably going to be throwing to the person he's blocking mostly.
Yeah, this time the Tigers look to run, and it's a good run. And that's going to be a first down run. Mario Thompson ends up making the tackle, but not until the ball carrier, Donovan Baker, was able to scamper for about 12 yards.
Really some really good yards there.
Yeah, that was a really nice cut that Baker made to kick it outside and get into the secondary of the Titans. Thompson was sure in his tackle, though, and I believe that is the first down for the Tigers.
I did see Jaden go in and out on those plays when he was getting instruction, so the ball might be going to him this game.
Yeah, back to Baker, and this time he's thrown for a loss as L.J. Jones and John Brooks and Elijah Rayner, a bunch of Titans in the backfield. They throw Baker this time for about a 3-yard loss.
L.J. Jones
Going to make it second and long.
3-yard loss.
This time Baker gets a pitch. He looks to go outside, but Hunter Brooks,
on him.
great job in contain. And then Thompson, Erlenbach, Jones, all combined.
All of them,
It was really Hunter Brooks who he just shed that block and did not allow Baker to get outside. So that's actually a loss of another yard or so. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14 for the Tigers, as they weren't able, so far at least, to capitalize on that first down of the game. And we enter now 3 minutes left in this first quarter. 3rd and long here. This could be a chance for the Titans to bring some pressure on this obvious passing down, but the blocking is good. Interception. James Woodward is able, and now the officials are going to say that ball hit the ground. We had a great angle on that, and it's too bad there's not instant replay in high school football, because looked to me we
definitely looked like an interception.
Honestly, we had a better angle than the back judge, and I think that that he did pick it off, but it's going to be 4th down. So Ball bounced off the receiver's hands. Woodward scooped it up, but the official said that it hit the ground, and some fans right in front of us said we had the perfect angle, and it's true. I think a tough break there, but still, Titans going to get the ball back, just not as good a field position as they would have had. Trey Ferguson calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 24.
Yeah.
So that call there cost the Titans about 20 yards.
Fair catch. Ball will be at the 24-yard line.
And I think Woodbury catches a little bit of a break there as Woodward did a nice job. But ultimately, ball's back in the hands of the Titans, and they're able to hold Woodbury to just the one first down.
Yeah.
And Titan offense coming back on the field, trying to add to the 7-0 advantage. And they're going to look to pass here on first down. It's Ferguson once again. He's been very active in this first quarter. And Trey Ferguson there picked up 3 yards on the reception.
Trey Ferguson.
We would see what Woodbury player was on there.
Yeah, several Woodbury tacklers in on that one. I think Asa McManamy was one of them, but also maybe number 40, Braden Lazan, looked to be in on it as well. They did a nice job actually containing Ferguson, because when he gets out in space, he can really do some things with the football, but only able to pick up 3 there. So I think Woodbury's got to feel pretty good about their defense on that particular play as we head to 2nd and 7. And this time it's a play action pass, and it's picked off. And Woodbury looks to take it back to the house. Toscano is able to push him out. The interceptor there, Jay O'Keefe.
Yeah.
As Jay O'Keefe returns to his hometown of Richmond. And O'Keefe returned that all the way to inside the 10-yard line. Toscano pushed him out. It looks like at the 8.
Yeah.
And he just read that route. So it was a play action. Toscano was looking to hit A.K. Key with a timing route, but O'Keefe read it well. I'm not sure that Jack saw him. And frankly, ball went right to O'Keefe. Toscano obviously frustrated with that one.
For sure, yeah.
But it's going to give Woodbury great field position. 1st and goal inside the 10. And then they run it on first down for pretty positive yardage to about the 5-yard line. That's, once again, the ball carrier, Donovan Baker, gets to the 5 where it'll be 2nd and goal.
On the carry for Woodbury Forest. Gain of a couple. Brought down by Trinity's John Brooks.
Another tackle for John Brooks there. He's already got about 4 tackles in this first quarter as we have 1:15 to go in the first quarter. Once again, it's 2nd and goal. Can the Titans make a defensive stand here? It doesn't look like it, because Baker is able to break a couple of tackles and get him for the score. So Woodbury takes advantage of the Titan turnover, and they cut it to 7-6 and look to tie it up with their extra point pending. And if Lucas Osada's opening kickoff is any indication, the extra point is likely to go in, because he booted that opening kickoff all the way through the end zone. I was watching him in warm-ups as well. He
has
was
a strong
pretty
leg,
much automatic. Snap is good, and the kick is no problem. Right down the middle. And we're tied at 7. So, Silvio, what do you think here? Obviously, Jack Toscano was disappointed in himself getting intercepted and a little bit frustrated. But just a couple minutes later, he's going to be right back out here on offense in a tie game. What do you think Coach Mickens, Coach Bell, and company say to Jack to get him back on track?
I think, it was a home mistake. He was looking for that timing route. I think you said he didn't see O'Keefe there. I think it was good reading by O'Keefe, and there's really nothing you really do that by a player you weren't able to see. So I definitely do think that they're probably Jack's always been really well, has been able to make sure once he makes a jump right back into the game. So I don't think it's gonna affect Jack that much. I do think that the coaches are probably just gonna be like probably not gonna say it's too harsh, not too mean, but definitely calm him down probably.
Yeah, you just gotta have that next play mentality. Kind of flush that one. I mean, you're not behind. You're still in a tie ball game. You're a senior quarterback who's been a 4-year starter. So I think you just dust it off and are just excited to get that ball back in their hands. I am curious to see on this possession if the Titans go back to the ground a little bit more because they've had some success in the running game. And that one goes through the end zone as well.
Yeah.
So Lucas Osada's leg is proving to be a big weapon for the Tigers, with now both his kickoffs traveling through the end zone, and his extra point was absolutely perfect. So if you're a fan of the NFL or even college football, you're used to seeing kickoffs go in the end zone. But at the high school level, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So he's really impressed us here in this first quarter.
I believe he's a sophomore, right? Yeah, it's basically a sophomore. Really big leg.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Osada out of Charlottesville, which is about 30 minutes away from Woodbury Forest, and goes back to Trey Grant. And Grant is bringing defenders with him as he picked up close to 7 yards. There was a flag that came in there, and
Don't know who that might be one.
I think the flag is going to be, a sideline warning, which is not going to result in any loss of yardage, but it's the next time it would.
Yeah.
So I think some of the Titan coaches maybe got a little close to the field there in the excitement of Trey running that ball. So it's going to be 2nd and 2. And it seems to me that every time Trey Grant gets the ball, he's good for at least 5, 6, 8 plus yards. He just never seems to go backwards. And even yards after contact, Grant almost always is able to continue gaining positive momentum even after he's hit. So this time Toscano runs. That has not been as successful thus far, and it wasn't there either, as he maybe was lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Just nothing there on the carry by Jack Toscano. Also, with a key 3rd down coming up, Matty Houston's going to have to come out of the game for one play. His helmet came off, so by rule, he's got to come out. So Davis Elliott will take his spot at right guard. Davis, the sophomore, replacing the junior Matty Houston. So we'll see in this 3rd and 2 where you'd expect possibly a run, and now flag goes down, and looks like it's gonna be against the Titans. False start on the offense. So now instead of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 7. Although I guess with the penalty, it does allow Houston to check back in. So bummer for Davis Elliott because he was going to get to come in for one play, and instead, because of the penalty, he doesn't get to. And that is the end of the first quarter. So, Silvio, we thought we would be in for a tight one today, and so far that's been the case. 7-7 through one quarter of play. And one thing I also want to mention, it just occurred to me that this is our 3rd home game here from Aycock Stadium this season, and the first time the Titans have given up so much as a point. Because the first 2 home games were both shutouts, and you can't really pin that one on the defense as the Tigers took over inside the 10-yard line. But that was history made, the first time a visiting opponent have scored on the turf field at Aycock Stadium. So congratulations to Woodbury for being having that honor. But, yeah, it was a great first quarter. And one thing I'm sure any fans who are watching our broadcast today who are fans of Woodbury will certainly know, but for Titan fans who may not know, that Woodbury does not participate in the state tournament because they have a traditional season-ending game against Episcopal High School, their big rival. And so that's always the 2nd weekend in November. They've been playing since the 1800s. So both Episcopal, who Trinity played earlier this year and lost by 1, and Woodbury forfeit the opportunity to play in the state playoffs because their game with each other is such a big rivalry. And I can tell you personally, because my 2 college roommates, one went to Woodbury and one went to Episcopal, and that game is like there's nothing like it. Alums come from all over the country, and it's like they'll get like 10,000 people at that game. So it's a really big deal. Yeah. That'll be 2 weeks from today when the state playoffs start. So, and any Tiger fans watching, we wish you well as you represent the Prep League against EHS in 2 weeks. Nice throw there by Toscano. So a great play on the 3rd and 7 to open up the second quarter. That was a key play And ironically, the receiver who caught it was Anthony Key on that key play, because with 3rd and 7, I mean, it was a chance for the Tigers to get off the field, and that was a perfect throw by Toscano. It looked a similar play to the one that was intercepted, but this time he found Key on the slant and gets it out to the 34-yard line.
Toscano probably much more wary of the Tigers defense.
Yeah, they looked to go with a reverse to Trey Ferguson, and that was totally sniffed out. Great job by number 78 for the Tigers, who is
Rodney Laura.
Okay.
Right there,
Rodney Laura, yeah, he was cut off the bottom of my roster, but good job by Laura. That was a gain of about 8 yards, so they got back the yardage they lost on the previous play, +1. But it is going to be 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
And this was a similar down and distance that we saw to open the quarter as Toscano found Key. We'll see who he looks for here, as the Titans have 4 receivers, 1 to the right, 3 out to the left. And this time Grant is set to the right of Toscano. He is back to pass. Some pressure applied. Still being pressured. Toscano gets the pass away, and it's caught!
It's caught.
Brennan Ridley, what a pass!
What a catch.
And what a catch. Huge play
Yeah.
on 3rd and 9. That went for over 30-yard gain. Looks like it's going to end up being, right at a 30-yard gain. Toscano was flushed out of the pocket. He was over on the far sideline, about to be pushed out of bounds. Threw it off his back foot and hit Brennan Ridley in stride. Great job by the receivers to keep moving for Toscano to give him an option, and then an unbelievable pass by Jack to pick up that key first down. And now it's going to actually end up being 1st and 5, because I think Woodbury looked like they jumped offside there. So it is going to take it out of the 25-yard line. Apologize for the voice crack there. After emceeing the pep rally yesterday and then talking to a lot of Titan alums at the reunions last night, my voice a little weak today. So sorry about, there may be more voice cracks to come. But 1st and 5 from the 25.
Definitely Toscano really in a big area. Was able to find someone there.
Yeah, and there is Trey Grant. And I had said a few minutes ago he never loses yards. He actually did lose 1 or 2 yards there. Not his fault, but just the Woodbury defensive line blew through the line there, and Grant had nothing. And it looks like it was Armel Mukam from Quebec, the Canadian, able to get through.
Woodbury does have some foreign players. Always fun and interesting to see all those different countries representing Woodbury.
Yeah, absolutely. Woodbury is an incredible school, draws from all over the world, really. And great throw by Toscano there to A.K. Key for another 1st down. So Titans doing a nice job here. Some good blocking there to keep the defense off Toscano. But, yeah, like you said, I mean, I was looking at the roster. Woodbury has guys from a lot of different states. I mean, a couple guys from Quebec, Atlanta, Dallas, Columbus. I'm assuming that's Ohio.
Lviv, I believe, is in Ukraine.
Albany, New York, Palm Beach, Garden, Florida, just to name a few places where Tiger players are coming from. And for any parents of Woodbury players in those far-flung areas from Virginia, we welcome you to the broadcast. And hopefully you're enjoying what's been a super competitive game here, as we have about 8 minutes till halftime. And it's going to be 2nd down and 3 from the 10 as A.K. Key trots back onto the field. He's had a really good first half at receiver, as he's got, I think Key has at least 4 receptions, as does Trey Ferguson. And Cam Fleming, one of the top receivers, is out today for the Titans. Grant this time able to pick up about a yard.
Yeah.
Again, the Tiger line holds strong, and going to be 3rd and a long 2. All right, Titans look to get to the line quickly. Now Toscano looking possibly for an audible from Coach Bell as the Titan offensive coordinator and QB guru signals in the play. And this time Toscano's going to keep it. He goes wide. He's going to have the first down and more. And that touchdown. Jack Toscano flips into the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that last week as well. Toscano leaving the ground.
Yeah.
And great to see Jack Toscano get back into the end zone. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and one was a absolute highlight reel play. Unfortunately, for Naught in the loss over at St. Christopher's, they had some highlight reel plays too, to be fair. But that run he had last week when he leaped over the defenders was one of the best plays you'll see in high school football. This one not quite as dramatic, but still a great run by Toscano and a great call by Malcolm Bell as the Tigers were all on the inside, and Jack popped it outside. And that
no good on the
kick
there.
was no good. He pulled it wide left, and that could be a big factor because in a game where the opposing kicker is seemingly automatic, you know, if the Tigers get a touchdown, they're highly likely to take the lead. So that's unfortunate that maybe Jack was a little fatigued after that run because that time the snap and the hold looked pretty perfect, and he just pulled it to the left a little bit. It was close. I mean, you thought he missed it though.
Oh yeah, I'd say go wide.
Must confess, we don't have the best angle to tell on kicks, so
I think maybe on that kick we might, but on the other one we really don't.
Yeah.
2021.
We do get a good mid-view though.
Under the Estes Athletic Center.
All right, still a great drive. The Titans took over there, as I recall, at their own 24. So 76-yard drive, a nice mix of runs and passes.
Yeah.
They had 3 third-down conversions, including a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 9, and then a 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
So overall, got to feel really good about that drive for the Titans, which spanned – I mean, it started in the first quarter, and we're now down to 7 minutes left in the second quarter. So that drive spanned, I think, over 6 minutes of action in terms of on the game clock. And this kickoff is brought out to just across the 25, and the ball carrier was leveled there. It was a Kubi, but a nice job by Cameron Walker, I believe, was the first Titan to get a hit on a Kubi there. Cameron has had some really good special teams plays this year. And so it'll be first down Tigers at their own 25 as that Titan defense is back on the field. And they've been good today. You know, the only points came on a very short drive aided by a turnover. Great tackle there as James Woodward held up the receiver, which was Landon Ellis. And then Mario Thompson came in and threw him backwards. And also I think Elijah Rayner got over there for good measure. So once Thompson and Rayner get involved, you're not going any further. But it ends up being a pickup of 3 by the receiver there, Landon Ellis. He's also out of Charlottesville. This time it's a handoff, and that's going nowhere. L.J. Jones in the backfield.
L.J. Jones.
Looked like John Brooks again.
Yeah.
And that was no gain, so it's going to be 3rd.
No gain on the play.
And
3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. Yeah, 3 and out here I think would be huge. We've talked a lot all season, you and I, Silvio, about the importance of momentum.
Yeah.
Of course, in all sports, but particularly in football. And after that missed extra point, if you're able to get a 3 and out and get that ball back to Toscano in the offense, I think that is going to give you that momentum. But we're going to have to wait a minute for this 3rd down play as the Tigers take a timeout. 5:35 until halftime. Woodbury uses their first timeout of the first half. They'll have 2 remaining.
Yeah.
So Silvio, as they look to this 3rd down and 8, the Tigers have been probably, I'd say, more effective running than passing. They've had a couple decent pass plays. Their touchdown came on a nice run by the tailback, Donovan Baker. What do you look for Woodbury to do here on 3rd and 8?
Definitely, you expect passing play here, just to get those yards. But you could definitely see running play. But I mean, the Titans' defense has been strong, and even though that we don't have maybe some of the really big starters, well-named starters, we do still have some really good players out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely think that there will be passing play because I don't think that Woodbury's able to run the ball for that
Yeah, I
many
mean,
yards.
eight yards is a lot. I just was thinking about their last third and long when they had the near interception by Woodward, if that would make them nervous. But definitely looks like a passing formation with 3 receivers, and they do look to pass, and it's a good pass. And actually, maybe not as good as it looked. It was a little behind the receiver there. Jaden Ferguson, the intended receiver. Once again, James Woodward on the coverage. Woodward has been really phenomenal so far. They've tried to pick on him several times, but he's either immediately made the tackle or broken up the pass, or in the one case we thought probably
Almost
had an interception or darn close to an interception. We'll say that. So to bring up 4th and 8, nice job there by the Titans to force Woodbury into a 3-and-out. And Trey Ferguson is back just inside his own 30 as he looks to return this punt. And it's a high punt. It's not as far. Takes a bounce right around the 42, and it'll stop there. It'll be downed by John Hill. John Hill downs that punt for the Tigers. So 43-yard line, pretty good field position for the Titans. 5:21 until halftime.
Definitely got that momentum back for sure that you were talking about. Momentum being key. Really being able to stop that long play definitely probably give the Titans really a good confident boost.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this would be huge if the Titans could put points on the board here and make it a 2-score game. And it's a good start to the drive. It's a great start. Trey Grant uses the vision that you talked about, Silvio. And Grant picks up 27 yards on the carry. And that was all about vision. You talked about it all season, Silvio, that fellow sophomore, Trey Grant, he just knows where to hit the hole. He was patient that time, and then when that hole opened up, he hit that hole and got into the secondary. So a great start to this drive, all the way to the 30-yard line and into positive field position for the Titans. Got under 10 seconds on the play clock. Play action, and they look to go up top for Brennan Ridley. Just overthrown. Brennan Ridley already has 2 big catches in this first half. The sophomore, but that one was just beyond him. I like the play call though. Little play action, and that's kind of one of those plays too where it's good reward because if he catches, it's a touchdown. But unlike the interception where you're dealing with traffic, I mean, either that's going to be a touchdown or incomplete. So. I like the play call there from Coach Bell. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. And 2nd and 10 upcoming. And that was a mess on that play. I think the snap count was not on the same page. As looked like all the Titan linemen got out of their stance, and the ball was not snapped. So it is going to be a 5-yard penalty to bring up 2nd down and 15. Not a lot of penalties really for either side so far. A handful, but not too many penalties, which is good. Titans had way too many penalties last week. That's another looking deep again. And that is caught. Touchdown. AK Key. Absolutely beautiful throw from Jack Toscano. Those machines that can automatically throw balls, the Jugs machine, I think it's called. I don't think that you could make a machine throw a ball more perfectly than Jack Toscano just did. He dropped that right over AK, who caught it perfectly in stride. In traffic, though, I mean, there were 2 defenders right there. That was not bad coverage. That was just a great play by a quarterback and a wide receiver who were on the same page. And AK Key comes off the sideline with a big smile on his face, which is great to see as the Titans looks like they're going to go for 2 here. And they've got Ferguson. They hit it. Really creative play call right there. And Jack Toscano makes up for the previous missed
Yeah.
extra point by connecting on the 2-point conversion to Trey Ferguson. So we talk about momentum. Uncle Mo is very much on the Titans side right now
Indeed,
with a
yeah.
21-7 lead.
And that 2-point conversion really got to raise, Toscano's spirits and a lot of other spirits, they were able to make up that extra one, so they're not down if the Tigers are able to score, which is definitely pretty big for the Titans.
Fans, please stick around.
Yeah,
We've got,
absolutely.
A very special ceremony which will take place center of the football field.
Yeah, apparently there's a halftime
Yeah.
ceremony. I didn't know about that, so interested to see what that is. But yeah,
Maybe it involves our mascot. I don't know.
I
Do you
don't
know
know.
the Titans mascot's name? Oh.
The Titans mascot name is Titan.
Titan, nice.
I'm not. Even if I knew who was inside that suit, I'm not telling you. It's
No, actually, yeah.
the best kept secret, or maybe not. But yeah, it's gonna be a ceremony at halftime to honor Coach Steve Edwards, one of the longtime Titan assistant and past parent who unfortunately passed away earlier this fall. So Coach Edwards, great guy and a Titan to the core.
Yeah.
I know the whole Trinity community misses Coach Edwards, so he's going to be honored at halftime.
Brought out to the
And
24-yard line, number of Titans.
Thank you to Mr. Jones who filled me in there. Mr. Jones on the PA today, sharing his gifts with the Titan community here on homecoming, and it'll be Woodbury ball at their own 20. And they look to run it here. Actually, play action fake. And they got a receiver wide open. That's a really well-designed play by Woodbury. And the receiver he could go all the way.
Good.
He does
He
go all
does,
the way.
yeah.
Wow, what a play by
Well,
Woodbury.
yeah.
Talk about momentum. Number 11 there, Landon Ellis.
Yeah. Really good play. Really good run.
75-yard touchdown on the very first play. First of all, it's a great play fake by the quarterback to get, which is, of course, Harley Shuford. He got all the Titan defense going out to their right and then came with a misdirection back to the left, and then Ellis was able to break a couple tackles and take it to the house. He showed off some speed there as well. So that's a great play by Woodbury. Got to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
When momentum was all with Trinity, that's how you seize it back with a big play. And the extra point is good.
Good, yeah.
And so just like that,
Point after
21-14.
21-14.
Definitely did see some really good effort there by Deuce Edwards and James Wood. Really trying to chase down Landon there, but weren't able to do that.
Yeah, it was a good effort, but it was too little too late. The missed tackle near midfield was very costly. And credit to the junior Landon Ellis out of Charlottesville, as he caught that ball really, I think, about his own 33, so he still had a lot of work to do. And from the time he caught it, Ellis went about 67 yards to the house to make it a 21-14 game. And that definitely quieted the student section as well, which I think was kind of in party mode after the 14 consecutive points by the Titans. Still over 4 minutes till half, so plenty of time for really either team to put more points up before we go into the locker rooms.
Yeah.
Woodbury defense didn't get much of a break there with the one play drive, so we'll see if Osada is able to put another
Big kick on.
big kickoff through the end zone. He's done that thus far on the previous 2 kickoffs. And the ball was blown off the tee there. Not a particularly windy day, but a bit of a breeze caught that ball. See a lot of the defensive coaches for the Titans talking to some of the various players there, just diagnosing what happened and trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. Because you would think if you're Woodbury, that's a play you might come back to later as it worked to perfection. This kickoff looks returnable. and it is scooped up by Ferguson. He's got some room, and Ferguson brings it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Finally pushed out of bounds by the kicker, Lucas Osada.
37-yard line.
Osada's a good athlete. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
you
he
think
had
he
He had the
was
kick,
fast.
he had the speed.
Yeah.
There were a couple Tigers on the play, but Lucas was able to really push Trey out of the bounds.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Lucas Osada. He's got a big leg, and sometimes you see kickers don't want to get involved in the tackle, but
Yeah.
he looked fast. I thought Ferguson was. I mean, it's still a great return,
Oh, yeah.
but I thought he might turn that corner and go for super big yardage. But Osada cut off the angle and pushed him out of bounds. So he's only a sophomore. I feel like looks to me to be a college prospect, a kicker.
Yeah.
All right, Titan ball at their own 38. Ferguson gets the handoff, and it's definitely more successful than the last time as he picked up 5 yards on first down. Remember the last time that Ferguson took a handoff, it went for her 7-yard loss. This one, spot wasn't quite as good as I thought, so more like 4, but still a positive play on first down. .325 till halftime. This time they fake it to Ferguson. The pocket breaks down, and that's a sack. Gabe Smith busts through the line. Smith, the senior linebacker, is able to sack Toscano.
Toscano has been able to get out of situations, and at that time, though, he has been able to find room and options, but wasn't able to then.
That just happened way too quickly as Smith went through virtually unblocked, and there was really nothing Toscano could do. Just at that point, you got to make sure you don't turn it over. So it definitely brings up third and long, 3rd and 16. The Titans did convert a 3rd and about 14 earlier. So this time Toscano flushed out of the pocket, but he hits. Actually, it was dropped by Elijah Rayner. There was a flag on the play as well, a couple flags on the play. And it is a hold on the Titans. I would think Woodbury will decline that as it brings up 4th down. And that's where that drop by Rayner is so big, because if he catches that, they're going to have to accept the penalty. I mean, it would still have been 3rd and a mile, but you'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But now at 4th and 16, I mean, you got no choice but to punt it. And ultimately, on the back of the 75-yard touchdown for Woodbury, they end up also getting a 3-and-out.
Yep.
So I think in the proverbial momentum game, it still stays with Woodbury right now. That good kickoff return by Ferguson comes to nothing. Wow, that punt by Toscano is a boomer, and it is actually going to roll into the end zone. Cornell Allen rather was almost able to down it, but it is going to come out to the 20. Yes, I mean, you don't see a 70-yard punt very often in high school football, but Toscano absolutely crushed that. Would have been great for the Titans to down it inside the 5, but even at the 20, you still really flipped the field position there. And like I said, it's not a particularly windy day, but and I don't want to take anything away from Jack's punt, but it does seem like the kicks have traveled a little bit farther going toward the softball field than toward the Estes Athletic Center. All right, first down run by the Tigers. They pick up 3 yards as Donovan Baker, the senior running back, gets the carry. I didn't catch who made the tackle, Silvio, did you?
No, I'm not able to see that.
That one was right kind of into the heart of the Titan defense. I think several defenders were in on the tackle as it's 2nd and 7. 2 minutes until halftime, 2 minutes. And this time a delayed handoff, and it picks up positive yards. It is going to be a first down. This time it's Tank Yaghubi. That's a first down gain of about 7 yards just across the 30. And Woodbury, they huddle up here, so I thought they might kind of go to a hurry-up 2-minute type of offense, but they're taking their time. I think the Tigers' thinking here is they want to make sure that they have the last possession. So want to take as much time as they can to ensure the Titans don't get the ball back. It's Yakubi again. And will Coach Mickens call a timeout here and try and preserve some play time?
Yeah.
But he does not either. So it's kind of a little bit of a cat and mouse game here where Woodbury doesn't want to leave the Titans with any time. But if Titans call timeout here to try and preserve some time in case they get it back, but then if Woodbury pops a first down, you're preserving it for them. So I think you'll see Woodbury now as the clock runs under a minute in the first half. I do think they'll throw here and try and put some points on the board. They do throw. Play action and almost intercepted. Connor Erlenbach, the senior, read it perfectly. He got a couple hands on it, but was not able to corral the interception. It's actually a very similar play to the one that was made by Connor Lasan for the Tigers on the first play of the game, where as that defensive end, he was able to leap up and bat the ball down. Erlenbach frustrated he couldn't intercept it, but that ball was coming in hot. So it's going to be 3rd and long. The clock does stop now with 51 seconds, and that's the risk you run at Woodbury by throwing it on an incomplete pass. The clock stops, and if the Titans can stop them here, Trinity could have a chance to get the ball back just before halftime. But if the Tigers get it, then they've got opportunity, and Woodbury is going to call a timeout. I think a wise timeout there.
Sure.
You want to make sure you have the perfect play. Of course, you'll get 3 new fresh timeouts in the second half, so might as well use it. And 51 seconds left. And this is an interesting decision for Woodbury. Do you try and get the first down, throw the ball long? If you get it, you could score, but if it's incomplete, the clock would stop with about 45 seconds, and then the Titans have all 3 timeouts. So this is the decisions that the coaches get paid the big bucks to make. Or if you run the ball, and maybe you pick up the first down, but even if you don't, you force Trinity to at least have to use a timeout because, of course, on a running play, the clock's not going to stop. So I don't know. Sylvia, what do you think the Tigers will do here?
I think that we've seen a lot of good defense from the Titans, and Connor Erlenbach was able to stop the passing play. And I do think they are going to go for another passing play for the first down, just as they want to stop the clock. And I think if they can do that, maybe calling out the timeout for Trinity.
It's a little risky, but also the fact that they call a timeout makes me think they're going to go for the pass, and they do. Good coverage. Now the QB is going to run for it. He does not get it as he was tackled. What a hit by Jay Williams. Short of the first down, and the Titans do call a timeout. So Harley Schuford, the quarterback there, ran for about 8 yards, but it was 3rd and 12, so still 4th down. And Jay Williams, how many times have we seen this Titan defense just decleat a guy this year? I mean, just lift the quarterback up. What a hit. And as predicted, Coach Mickens does use a timeout to give the Titans an opportunity before halftime to get the ball back. And maybe they can either hit a return with Ferguson or even have a chance to throw it deep a couple of times. We've seen already A.K. Key and Brennan Ridley have long catches in the first half. So you got to get the opportunity to at least give your offense a chance. And also Woodbury's going to get the ball to start the second half. So I think if you're the Titans, as long as you get decent field position here, I think you'd see them be aggressive with it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do think that if there was a running play, there was going to be the timeout. And I think, in that timeout huddle, you got to be talking about, as you were saying, you want this good return for the yardage. Yeah. And to see if you can throw those big balls to
also
Anthony, Key, Brennan.
And also credit to the secondary there because they had to stay locked in on coverage for a long time. Yeah. Another good punt by Osana, but it is returnable. Ferguson's got some room to run, and he makes a great couple of moves, and he brings it all the way into the Tigers' territory. There is a late flag, and curious what that's going to be because right now, before the penalty, Trinity will have the ball in Woodbury territory, which gives them a great opportunity, but could be a block in the back.
There's an injured player as well on the play.
Yeah. Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that. Penalty is against the Titans. I think it was a low block.
You gave credit there to number 43 for the Tigers, Rory Doolin, able to stop Trey there.
Yeah, good. That was a good tackle by Doolin as Trey had a lot of momentum. And this is looks like a might be could be a little bit
wouldn't
serious because
remember.
they're really giving a lot of room here to the injured player. Training staffs for both teams are right there, along with the Titan team, Dr. Steve Reese. And I think, Sylvia, we're going to take a quick break here as we see what's going on with this injury, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Se- 17, I think. All right, so great to see the injured player there. That was Caleb Donaldson, but Caleb is walking off. We didn't see what happened, but the way that he was being attended to definitely was some serious concern. But Caleb was walking off for the Tigers, so that's really great to see. And if Caleb's friends or family are watching us, he looks. I mean, he's walking off under his own power, so he's okay. Not sure if he'll be back in the ball game today, but after what we saw our last home game, where we had a really horrific leg injury and the ambulance had to come on the field and things like that, you just never want to see that. And so good to see number 17 Caleb Donaldson able to get off the field. And 29 seconds till halftime here as the Titans take back over. That penalty did hurt the field position. They go big, too big a little bit, overthrown by Toscano as he looked for AK Key. AK had a step on the defender. I think the play was a good one, but Jack just put a little too much air under it. And as we've talked about, the wind is behind the Titans' back a little bit right now. At least that's what we think, just based on the distance the kicks have traveled. So I think Jack may have just slightly not taken the wind into account, and that ball sailed on him just a little bit. So 2nd and 10, 22 seconds to go. Titans still have 2 timeouts, so if they could get some positive yardage, they can still stop the clock and try and maybe get in field goal range. They're going to run it here, though, with Mario Thompson. He picks up 5, and Coach Mickens does call timeout. So 13 seconds to go. Coach Mickens uses the second Titan timeout. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 40. That penalty, we didn't really talk much about it with the injury, but that was a huge penalty on the punt return because the Titans would have had the ball in Woodbury territory. And
you know what the penalty was on?
I think it was a chop block or a block below the waist, I believe was the signal. So still here, 13 seconds and 1 timeout. I mean, if you could get something over the middle you probably need at least 30, 35 yards to get into field goal range. It's going to be tough for them to score, but I like being aggressive.
Maybe even less. I mean, you could. The wind is going there, and if the ball is traveling, you could maybe be at the 40 if you get a good kick in there.
I mean, Toscano has a big leg, but I'm not sure what the extent of his range is. He'd love a chance to try, though, so we're going to see. Wow, Woodbury brings a bunch of pressure. If this is well blocked, it could be Yeah, Brennan Ridley, he does get a first down. He's pushed out right at midfield. It was the perfect play call, really, with a little wide receiver screen. I thought if Ridley had cut inside, he had some room, but then again, I think he probably wanted to get out and make sure the clock was stopped. So 7 seconds. Do they go with a Hail Mary here, or do they feel like they have enough time to get one more play in, get a timeout?
I think Jack would want to go for the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Just because it is Jack, but Coach Mickens
Yeah,
is probably going to tell him to go for the more reasonable play here.
Yeah, and Woodbury, well, they bring 5 guys.
Oh.
He is going deep, and nothing in it. A couple guys fall down, and that is the half. So ultimately, Titans try and put some points on the board, but weren't able to. So good first half,
Yeah,
21-14. Titans have a 7-point lead here at this homecoming game. For a while, it looked like maybe with that 21-7 lead, the Titans might open up a pretty big gap, but credit to Woodbury with a big touchdown to get back into it.
Was that a 75-yard running touchdown for Woodbury there?
Yeah, with Landon Ellis. That really a huge play. And actually, this is interesting because I think the officials are saying they want are they trying to put 2 seconds back on the clock? I mean, both. Oh, no.
They were just,
no, sorry, 20 minutes. I saw the 2. I thought, are they going to make these guys come back out and make another play? But 20 minutes for halftime. So we're going to take a break here for this first part of the half, but we'll be back in just a few minutes for what promises to be a really exciting second half.
Of 2007 and Cody Gray, class of 2013. And Coach Edwards' unwavering support and his generosity to the school, and as a current member of the football coaching staff. Here to accept his jersey is his wife, Ms. Elizabeth Edwards, who is accompanied by Steve's son, Sam. Head coach Sam Mickens will present her with the jersey. Would you please give rousing applause for the life and legacy of Coach Steve Edwards?
I'm good to go.
All right, great first half here at Aycock Stadium. Trinity Episcopal 21, Woodbury Forest 14. So we think we're in for what should be a pretty tight second half. A game that probably is going to come down to the wire. And our previous football broadcasts have not been particularly close, with a 37-0 win over Collegiate and a 42-0 win over Fork Union. Both those games were pretty much done by halftime, but this game certainly looks like it could go either way. Woodbury's going to get the ball to start the second half. So really important possession for the Titan defense. And Silvio, I was able to get into the halftime team talk a little bit, and I heard, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but and I wouldn't share them even if I did, but I heard the Titan defensive staff definitely making some adjustments with how they were going to cover some things.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about that 75-yard touchdown by Landon Ellis and what happened, and just I could hear them saying, you know, if they come out in this formation, we're going to do this. So it's interesting because in a football game, you got so many players, and they all have to play a role.
Yeah.
And so halftime, while for our viewers at home may have felt kind of long for 20 minutes, if you're a coach or a player, you got to make a lot of adjustments in a short amount of time. And you could have prepared all week to play a certain way, and then they show you different looks, and you have to adjust everything really quickly. So the coaches were working very hard to make those halftime adjustments. And it was really just kind of fascinating to be in there and listen to what the staff was trying to impart to those players. And also was able to walk around and see a good number of alums back today on homecoming. Always great to see familiar faces, and you know, just so many people who bleed green and blue coming back and supporting the Titans. And you brought up, Silvio, right from the top of the broadcast that you were told this week that Trinity's never beaten Woodbury in football, and I can definitely confirm for sure since 2005 that we haven't. If someone's watching that was at Trinity in the 70s or 80s, and maybe back then they did, but certainly if it ever happened, it was before any of the players on the field were ever born. So so this would be a big just program win for the Titans if they're able to get it today.
That we were talking about early game is this a big motivation for winning this game to maybe hold a semi-game. Do you know the score, I believe, on the opposing team that kind of has to not do so good today for Trinity to get that?
Yeah, so for the Titans to get a home state playoff game, they have to win today, and then I think they need St. Stephen's St. Agnes to lose, who's right now ahead of them, and I'll get to that in 1 second. The second half kickoff is fielded, and it's James Woodward, who had a great first half, and he made another big tackle there.
Hunter Rockhill there was really able to get some yardage for the Tigers.
Yeah, so Tigers are going to take over right about the 30. Let me see if I can find a St. Stephen St. Agnes score. So as Titan fans, for us to be able to have a home game, we're going to need to see them not do so well. And they are winning 29-7 at half over Bullis. So that's not great news for Trinity in terms of a quest for a home game. But most importantly, the Titans have to control what's in front of them, and they did a good job there on the first play from scrimmage. Jay Williams able to stop Yagumi for no gain, maybe a yard, but not much of a gain at all. A good job by Williams. So, yeah, St. Stephen St. Agnes having some success today. So they still have another game next week. The Titans are off. So maybe if we win and they lose next week, I'm not sure what happens in that scenario, but they're looking pretty good. So we this may be our last football broadcast. We're having a good time with it. So I know you and I and Jeffrey and the TESPN crew would love to have another chance, but if the Titans don't hang on for the win, that's definitely not going to happen, and that isn't going to help when the Tigers are able to run off 14 yards like they just did there. So that excellent run for Woodbury to gain a first down. And a late substitution there for the Titans as Cooper Gardner came on for Connor Erlenbach. Another run. This one's going nowhere. Cooper Gardner, who just came in, is in on the tackle along with Jay Williams. And
Gardner and Jay Williams combined on the
Tigers
block
picked
for the
up
Titans.
1 yard.
Gain of 1.
I like that from Cooper Gardner, though. He ran on late and still was able to get in on the ball carrier. Nice job by Coop, the sophomore.
Sure, yeah.
He's really grown since last year, listed at 6'1", 230. So it'll be 2nd and 9. Just a couple of minutes into the third quarter. Woodbury really taking their time here, trying to keep the Titan offense off the field. And flags fly as Woodbury looked to run a little wide receiver reverse action, but they had a delay of game. So we talked about the Tigers were taking their time. They took a little bit too much time as the play clock hit 0. And that play looked like it as they handed the ball off to number 13, Jaden Ferguson. He may have had some running room, so probably a break there for the Titans that
We were able to
they
see
weren't able to
Jaden
get the
Ferguson
snap off.
run before. We know his speed. We know his threat to the Titans, and that could have gone somewhere for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. Little pass out there is they pick up the 5 yards that they just lost as that little swing pass came out to Donovan Baker. Mario Thompson made the tackle. 6-yard gain is going to bring up 3rd and 8.
Trinity.
It's good to see Caleb Donaldson, who got injured in the first half for Woodbury. I see him over on the Tiger sidelines walking around. So he's not back in the ball game, but looks fine. Really happy to report that, as I think some of his family are watching at home. Caleb looks to be in good shape. All right, the 3rd and 8. Yeah, late flag, and this is going to could be a really bad break for the Titans, because even if the pass had been caught, it was going to be nowhere near a first down. But if they call pass interference, I think that is going to be an automatic first down, and they do call pass interference. So that's a really, really bad break for Trinity, because it would have been, even if they just caught it, it was going to be 4th and 5. Instead, it's a 15-yard penalty. That is a massive call, and takes the ball all the way to the 39-yard line of the Titans. As I guess Hunter Brooks got there just a second too soon in defending that pass play. So Woodbury on the move, 1st and 10 into Titan territory at the 39. And they're looking end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown, 39 yards. Jaden Ferguson able to make the catch. Great pass by Harley Shuford. And the Tigers cut it to 1.
James Luder not able to. He was there, not able to stop Jaden from getting his reach over.
Yeah, that 8-inch height difference that we talked about earlier really did make an impact on that play. And the Tigers will look to tie it here. Titan coaching staff has got to be sick about that pass interference penalty, though.
Yeah.
Would have been 4th down, and Tigers would have probably had to punt. Instead, one play later, it's a touchdown, and the extra point is good. Lucas Osada stays perfect on the day. And we got ourselves a tie ball game with 8:51 to go in the third quarter. That's a pretty punitive rule. I'm certainly not saying it wasn't pass interference, and I know that's the rule, but like, it was 3 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, and yet it's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
You know, in the NFL, that would have been a spot of the foul penalty. Still would have been a first down, but you wouldn't have gotten all that yardage.
Yeah.
But the high school rules, automatically 15 yards no matter what, and the Tigers took advantage.
Yeah.
Great job by Woodbury there. They rolled out the quarterback, Harley Shuford, to his left, and then he just put it up in a spot where only Jaden Ferguson, the 6'3" sophomore, could get to it. And Ferguson did just that. So tie game. Yeah, Titans had a 14-point lead not too long ago, about middle of the second quarter. And now all of a sudden we find ourselves in a tie ball game. That's also where Cam Fleming has missed one of the most talented Titan players who plays at cornerback. He probably would be matched up against Ferguson there. Just has a little more height. James Woodward's had an awesome game, but there he just that height disadvantage really hurt him there. And now on the ensuing kickoff, Trey Ferguson brings it out just across the 20, brought down at the 23-yard line.
Ferguson on the return for the Titans, brings it out to the 22-yard line.
John Hill was part of the tackle there, I think, as well as Rory Doolin. So it'll be first down Trinity at their own 23. The offense had a good first half, a good balance of run and pass.
Saw big catches, big runs. So definitely not lacking in that department from Trinity.
Yeah, A.K. Key had some great catches, as did Brennan Ridley. They, I believe, each had a touchdown reception. And then Jack Toscano run. Trey Ferguson has a lot of field ahead of him. He could be gone. Trey Ferguson finally pushed out of bounds, but not until he gained 70 yards. 70-yard little pass out to Trey Ferguson. He used his wheels to go all the way deep into Woodbury territory. He was finally pushed out at the 8-yard line.
I believe by Jared Clark there. Oh, number 19 for
Jared Clark saved the touchdown, but a really nice play call from Coach Bell, the offensive coordinator, and Trey Ferguson got a good block, and then you just saw that speed.
Talking about momentum, it's really got a good opportunity.
Yeah, Jack Toscano this time keeps it, and he put his head down and was able to pick up 4 yards.
Toscano on the carry, 4-yard gain.
So it's going to be second and goal, and this is where the Titans have got to be careful not to commit any penalties. We saw a false start in a similar position in the first half, and really need to punch this ball into the end zone. Toscano looks to the sidelines. He's got 2 receivers to his left. Trey Grant right behind him. Grant puts on a great block. Trey Grant really saved Toscano there. He rolls left, and it's a touchdown. Great job by Jack Toscano as he connects on the pass to Trey Ferguson. Trey a little slow getting up after the touchdown, but what a pass by Toscano as he rolled left. And Ferguson is up now. Not quite sure if he just took a hard hit at the end of that play, but the key block.
Catch, correct?
It was Trey. Yeah, but a key block by the running back Trey Grant as number 9 Armel Mukam, the defensive end from Canada, came in and Trey Grant lifted him up off the ground and was able to give Toscano time to roll left and give Ferguson time to get open. If Trey doesn't make that block, instead of celebrating a touchdown, it's the Tigers celebrating a sack. And the extra point is good. Got to make these extra points because you know Woodbury's going to make theirs.
Close game. You really got to make those extra points. I mean, I believe that it was Woodbury that won their last previous game by 1.
Woodbury.
I know they just won their last game by 49.
They won their last game 49-0, but they did earlier in the season have a close win. I don't have it with me right now, but and Woodbury, has clearly shown the ability to move the ball, and then we also know with Lucas Osada that their extra points are seemingly automatic.
Yeah.
Which at the high school level, the extra points are frequently a bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
So a great response there. This is a game in which we've seen the momentum bounce back and forth several times, but a really nice job there by the Titans to try and regain that momentum with I guess that ultimately was just a 3-play drive, right? The reception by Ferguson for 70 yards, run by Toscano for 3 yards, and then the touchdown pass to Ferguson for the score. And kickoff is fielded at the 11-yard line, and it's a pretty decent return out close to the 30. think that was Hunter Rockhill bringing that kick back, the junior out of Lynchburg. So Woodbury's 2 wins this year, 28-17 over Collegiate, and then the 49-0 win over Catholic, last week down in Virginia Beach. And then they've lost to Benedictine, who the Titans defeated, Georgetown Prep from up in Maryland, Landon also from Maryland, and then St. Christopher's as well. So Woodbury looks like a very solid team to me, though, and they're out here ready today as they get that ball into the hands of Jaden Ferguson. So right now, Sylvia, we got a battle of Fergusons. Jaden for Woodbury just got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Trey Ferguson for the Titans just got a touchdown. No relation that we're aware of, and based on their height difference, Jaden Ferguson 6'3", Trey Ferguson 5'7". But both of them are explosive wide receivers in their own way. And this is a quarterback keeper. And, wow, Jay Williams and L.J. Jones met the quarterback Shuford. He did pick up about 2 yards, but he paid the price. All right, so 2nd down and 7. They gave him 3 yards there out of the 41-yard line. This is a run to Donovan Baker, the running back. He's had a good day, has a touchdown. He's been solid, really between the tackles runner. Baker is a senior. And this time Baker picked up 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 5.
2-yard gain brings up 3rd and 5 for the Tigers.
It's a big play right here. As the Titan mascot really trying to get the student section going, get some noise. Titans bring a lot of defenders. This is a play action, and they are able to connect to Anthony Leo. And Leo goes out of bounds, and a late flag did come in. I think we're also going to attack on 15 yards at the end of that. That looked like a similar play to the big 75-yarder that they had in the first half with that play action and then the misdirection rollout. This one not as big as that, but still a key 3rd down conversion to Anthony Leo. Leo listed on the roster as a quarterback, but on that play he played wide receiver, and he gained about 18, and then you're going to tack on 15 at the end. So it ends up being over a 30-yard gain for Woodbury. And ultimately it's going to be spotted at the 26 of the Titans. And with the leg Osada has, especially going this way toward the softball field, I think they're already in field goal range. But if you're the Titans, you want to hold them to ideally no points. And I think we might have another personal foul here. I think it's going to be a late hit. I believe as Robbie Dunn leveled the quarterback, Harley Shuford, but I think it's likely to be a roughing the passer, and it was a 7-yard gain before the penalty. And it is indeed a roughing the passer call. So if you're Coach Mickens, you got to be furious right now with 2 straight plays, 2 straight personal fouls in a game that's a 1-score game. Yeah. Just can't be having those mental mistakes. So, yeah, I think it's going to be
1st and goal here.
1st and goal from the 9 as they tack on half the distance from where it ended at the 19. And this is another handoff to Baker. He's able to gain good yardage down inside the 5.
Yeah, real close then.
Finally brought down at the 4. Saw Mario Thompson in on that tackle. So it'll be 2nd and goal from inside the 5. And this is it's getting to crunch time here. been a really good response from Woodbury after the Titans were able to regain the lead.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be a flag for a pre-snap penalty. It's against the Titans. It's offside encroachment. So that'll be another half the distance,
Yeah.
and that'll take it inside the 2. Second and goal from about the 1.5. They're going to go with the QB sneak. And he's in.
Yeah.
He got it. Great drive by Woodbury, aided by a couple of crucial penalties from the Titans. And their last touchdown drive as well, of course, was aided by that pass interference penalty. So we talked in the first half about it. It had been a pretty clean game, not a lot of yellow flags out there, but this second half
Filled
has
with them, it
been
seems.
littered with them.
Definitely, if you're Coach Minginger, you gotta be furious. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the discipline, and it's gotten away from us a little bit here. Snaps a bit high, but they're able to get it down. Good job by the holder there.
oh, yeah.
That was, of course, the quarterback, Shuford. And Osada ties it back up at 28. Been a back-and-forth affair. And the clouds are darkening. It feels like fall. About crisp 60 degrees or so here as we are about a quarter mile from the banks of the James River. And the clouds match it's a perfect backdrop for this type of an intense league contest as the Titans look to secure a state playoff bid and get the first win in program history over Woodbury. And they're not doing it the easy way, Silvio.
They are not. There's around a little under 5 minutes in the third quarter. Let's see if there's still a lot of time for the Titans and Woodbury here.
Yeah, right now, I mean, in this half, neither team can stop each other. It's been
as we saw like in the very first quarter, the defenses on both sides were on fire.
Yep.
And now we're seeing the defense not really the defense are kind of falling apart. I mean, we've had some big running plays from both sides, big throwing plays. So let's see, what the defense coordinators for both teams can really do to stop the offense.
Yeah, I mean, so 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns in the second half. Two for Woodbury, 1 for Trinity, and neither team been able to stop each other. And like I said, I was able to listen in on some of the halftime talk for the Titans, and the defensive coaches were coaching their heart out, telling these guys exactly where to be. But those penalties have been killer.
Yeah.
And just a real back and forth game. All right, 4:50 to go in the third, and it's a pass play. It's over the head of Trey Ferguson there, and good pressure applied by the defensive line of the Tigers. We're going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down for the Titans.
Toscano again back to pass. This ball's deflected. What a catch! Unbelievable catch by Elijah Rayner.
Definitely
That
see
ball-
that happening.
That ball was deflected coming out of Toscano's hands. Looked like it could have been picked off as there were 3
Yeah, they
Tiger
were around them.
defenders. I mean, that's the kind of play in a tie game. Really could have gone either way, and an unbelievable catch by Elijah Rayner. We're more used to seeing Elijah on the defensive side of the ball, but making a heck of a grab there from that tight end position. Now it's a run for Trey Grant, and he's picking up positive yardage across
He's still
midfield,
going.
fighting off tacklers. Still going. Finally brought down after an 18-yard gain, and it is just a pleasure to watch Trey Grant run the football. He is such a tough
Oh,
running
yeah.
back. I mean, it takes 3, 4, 5 defenders to bring Trey Grant down. He just runs violently, and you saw it paying off there.
Yeah.
all the way to the 40-yard line. What a contest we got here, Silvio. Both teams making big plays.
Yeah.
Ferguson goes in motion. It's back to Grant. He's picking up more
Yeah,
yards.
there you go.
Fights off another defender. He's inside the 20. Finally brought down at about the 18.
Yeah.
Trey Grant. 40 yards in the last 2 plays by Trey Grant.
We talked about Trey Grant before. I mean, we love watching him. We love always pointing out that he's a guy that when you're handing the ball, he's very unlikely to give you negative yards, and he's proven us right that he's always a positive man.
Absolutely, and you got to give the offensive line a lot of credit as well.
Oh, yeah.
These last 2 plays, they've really done their job and blocked, and Trey's hit the hole, and then the first defender never brings him down. I mean, he always breaks the first tackle,
Yeah.
sometimes several tackles, and this time they fake it to Grant, and Brennan Ridley was the intended receiver, but nice coverage there by the Tigers.
Yeah.
I believe that was Jarrett Clark. I think Jarrett Clark on the coverage did a nice job. The sophomore out of Culpeper. So he's from just right down the road from Woodbury, and he really did well because that slant has worked well for the Titans so far today. But Clark, great coverage there. And now Trey Grant is going to get a break as Mario Thompson comes back in the backfield. Second and 10. Play clock down to 3. And they just about get it off. Nope. They call a timeout. So I think the Titans were concerned that they weren't going to get that play off, so they call a timeout. Hate to burn timeouts in the second half.
Especially there. You really wanted them for the fourth quarter, especially how tight this game's going.
Yeah.
They might seem to regret that.
They might. I mean, that's a tough one where it's like you're about to delay a game. 2nd and 15 is not a position you want to be in. So you preserve the 5 yards, but
Especially
just
with
hope you don't need that timeout in your back pocket later. Still got 2 though.
yeah, especially with the big, fouls that maybe led to the Tigers' touchdown. Definitely, maybe Coach Megan's really trying to avoid any lossage for the Titans.
Yeah, there have been a few crucial penalties, and this area of the field too. You're probably in field goal range if it comes to that, but you back up much more, and that field goal becomes pretty daunting.
Yeah.
So still 2nd and 10. 3:09 to go in the third quarter of this tied game here at ACOG Stadium. Good protection for Descano. He hits Mario Thompson out of the backfield for a first down. Great, well-designed play there.
Really
Thompson was brought down at the 5. And really he had some daylight even ahead of him to possibly go in for the score, but he kind of got tripped up by the turf monster there. But still, 1st and goal from the 5. Nice pass by Toscano to Thompson. And they're able, I believe, to draw an offside penalty, I think. Indeed it was, yeah.
Number 9, Amar Luthman.
Yeah, he tried to time the snap, and Toscano went with a hard count. And you'll recall that being really effective in the collegiate game back in September when Tegan Logan was the quarterback.
And get a lot of offsides. So
yeah, I think 7 times he drew the Cougars offsides. This goes to Thompson. He breaks a tackle, and he's in for the score. Touchdown.
Really good play by Thompson there.
Yeah, what a response by the Titans as
I think that's Calder Sprinkle.
Calder Sprinkle, class of 2021,
yeah.
back here for homecoming, bangs the gong. Perhaps a new tradition was born today. I'm not familiar with banging the gong, but that sounds pretty cool.
It does.
We need Calder back for all the games, I guess. All right, crucial extra point. I mean, the way these teams are trading touchdowns and the way Osada has been automatic.
Jack's really got some pressure on him here.
Yeah, this is really
I mean, especially
key.
with the him missing 1, and they were able to make the 2 point. He's really gonna have to.
Yeah.
Really gonna have to have this one.
Snap always key on these extra points.
Yeah. Tegan always has been really good at keeping that low though.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good snap. Kick is
Looks good.
good.
It is good.
is good. Yeah, that was a nice operation, and Toscano got some good air under it and connects on the extra point. So what a drive and what a game. I mean, and right
Yeah,
now it's
really.
just back and forth, and it seems like with each touchdown, the clouds just get darker.
I mean, I was gonna say that the clouds looking dark, but the field's all bright and
Yeah.
brighten up. I think no, maybe a little reflection of how Trinity scores.
I know, man. It makes for a really just cool backdrop from our vantage point up here in the press box with these dark clouds over the field. I'm not sure as you're watching at home if you're able to see all that, but the field is bathed in sunshine, and then we got foreboding clouds over in the distance. The leaves are starting to change. I mean, this just feels like football, and really
There
couldn't
is
ask
still
for anything more.
2:30 in the third quarter. Still a lot of playing time for the Tigers here to see if they can do anything. They do have some really good threats. Were able to make some good running plays, so Titans really gonna make sure they're careful here.
Yeah, so J.D. Stemhagen to take this kickoff. I think Toscano and Stemhagen have both kicked off at times today. And he goes with another shorter one. It's fielded at the 33-yard line by Tate Whitmer. Whitmer, the senior out of Alexandria. I'm sure he'll be really motivated when the Tigers play Episcopal High School in 2 weeks, which, of course, Episcopal is in Alexandria. So a lot of bragging rights always on the line for that one. And can the Titans get a stop? So far, each team has had 2 possessions in this third quarter, and each team has 2 touchdowns. Neither team can stop each other, and that hasn't really been the MO for the Titans most of the year. The defense has been phenomenal.
On point.
That's a great tackle by Lewis Jones. He met the ball carrier right in the hole and drove him back. They're going to give him forward progress of 1 yard for Donovan Baker, but definitely looking to send a message with that tackle.
Yeah.
And I see the Titan coaching staff also getting really amped up and just trying to keep those energy levels up. Student section still looks pretty full.
Always nice to see Titans out there.
Some pressure on the quarterback here. And what a hit. Lewis Jones again, and that one is going to leave the quarterback down as Harley Schuford took a big hit there from Jones.
Yeah.
And Schuford's still down on that one.
Definitely looks like some of the players telling them to quiet down.
Yeah, I mean that's one where it's tough because as a defender and the guys on the bench are really excited that their teammate made a big tackle, but obviously, of course, you don't want to see anybody hurt. And Harley Schuford's had a really good game at quarterback for the Tigers, but I think they're looking at the head area with that
The hit there, yeah.
may have been helmet to helmet. Tough to tell. We don't have the benefit of replay.
I think it was helmet to helmet from my angle at least.
Good to see him sitting up. Harley Schuford definitely seems to be alert, talking to the trainers.
Yeah. Very nice to see him sitting up there, yeah. I think it might have knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah.
From,
Well, Jones, I mean, looked like just a big hit. He had a lot of momentum. I also don't think that Schuford saw him. He kind of came from the side, so he's up. He's able to walk off.
Give credit to the
crowd
trainers from both sides there.
Yeah, trainers from both sides. The crowd from both sides really happy to see that he's up. And now to football matters. I mean, it's going to be 3rd and about 9. This is a huge play.
Yeah.
And it's going to fall onto the shoulders of a backup quarterback for the Tigers here on this crucial 3rd down play.
Maybe Anthony Leo or Jaden Ferguson. That's what's on their roster here.
So we saw Anthony Leo make a reception in the first half, and it is Anthony Leo now, the sophomore, in at quarterback on 3rd and 9. He rolls right, He's got a receiver open, and he hit him. That's a nice play by the Tigers as the catch was made by Landon Ellis, who had really the big play of the first half. A lot of credit to Anthony Leo, the sophomore. He's been playing wide receiver. He gets moved to quarterback after the starting quarterback, Harley Schufer, took that hard hit. 3rd and 9 for your first snap, and he's able to connect. Great job by Leo there, and it's first down from the 45.
1 minute left in third quarter here. Definitely Tigers trying to get some nice field position.
They run it with Baker again. He picks up 5. Ball might have come out late, but if so, the Tigers were able to retain possession. Bit of a scramble there at the end. It's right at midfield. 40 seconds left in this third quarter. They will have to get at least one more play off in this quarter.
Yeah.
And if it were an incomplete pass, of course, that would stop the clock. Leo's still in at quarterback. He passes out to Baker, and he is tackled for a loss. Great job by the defense there. Hunter Brooks, Mario Thompson, and then Connor Erlenbach come in. So that probably will be the last play of this quarter as the clock winds under 5 seconds. And we'll head to the fourth quarter with the score. Trinity Episcopal 35, Woodbury Forest 28. And the fourth quarter is going to start with Woodbury in a 3rd and about 8. One other factor, Silvio, and I don't think it's an extremely windy day, but we have seen kicks and passes travel farther in the direction going toward the softball field and toward the river. And so the Titans, to the degree there is a wind, should have it at their back in this fourth quarter as well. And Woodbury will be attacking the end where the Trinity student section is. So I think if you're a Titan fan, you probably it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I think you'd prefer it to be the way it is going to be. Yeah. With a little bit of a wind at your back.
Sometimes that wind can be a blessing or a curse. It could throw off the quarterback jack here. Maybe throwing too far, too short.
Yeah, he did overthrow the last time the Titans were attacking that way in the second quarter. Getting a visit here in the booth from TESPN producer Colin Edsel, who's taking the day off from the broadcast so he could spend time with his homecoming date. But he's joining us for a minute here. What's up, Colin? How you doing, buddy? But thankfully we have Jeffrey Bell.
Yeah.
Couldn't do this without Jeffrey. All right, fourth quarter, big play, 3rd and 8. Last time on 3rd down, Leo was money. This time, though, Woodward is able to get a hand to it. Incomplete, no flags. Good job by the Trinity students as well, providing some noise there. And the wide receiver, Landon Ellis, is a little slow getting up. I think it's cramps. So I don't think this one's as serious as
hopefully not.
Some of the couple other injuries that were a little more concerning. I do see starting quarterback Harley Schuford is up and giving guys a high five. He's holding his helmet, so that's a really good sign because I think if he were not able to return, they would probably take his helmet. So we may see Schuford come back.
Which would be big for the Tigers there.
It would be big for the Tigers for sure. But, yeah, I think Landon Ellis is just a little bit of cramping right here. It's going to be 4th and 8. And you would think Woodbury probably would punt. But we'll see if they choose to go for it with the backup quarterback or go ahead and punt it, try and pin the Titans deep and play defense. Now, so far this half, they haven't been able to get a stop. So, interesting decision here for Coach Scott Braswell on this 4th down play, and they're getting a little extra time to think about it as Landon Ellis is attended to. Also, he's up, which is great. He wouldn't be able to play this next snap, which also probably, as he's one of their top 2 receivers, you probably wouldn't want to go for it on 4th down if he's not available. And they are indeed going to punt. And they got a great kicker.
They do indeed.
Lucas Osada has been great punting and on kickoffs and on extra points. So good job by the Titan defense there, and still waiting for Ellis to get off the field, so not quite ready to snap it yet. he was kind of jogging, then he slowed up a little. If you ever had those leg cramps, can come and go a little bit. Snap is a high one. Osada gets it, but he's in trouble. I mean, it's going to be Titan ball and phenomenal field position. That ball was snapped over the head of Lucas Osada. He did recover, but Connor Erlenbach was there, and so the Titans will take over in tremendous field position at the 27-yard line. I tell you what, Silvio, that's a huge play. That is
with Osada's leg, that could have gone all the way there, and that's going to be an advantage for the Titans.
Yeah, that's a huge play. Assume he has his average kick. Trinity probably takes over at their own 20. Instead, they're going to take over all the way at the Woodbury 27. That's a difference of 50 yards probably from that bad snap. So,
and we've seen players, Trey Grant, Trey Ferguson, that are able to make those yards up like nothing. So this could, in fact, lead to a Trinity touchdown.
Yeah, I think that was probably the play of the game at this juncture, and really didn't actually get the reaction it probably deserved from the crowd, because that was huge. Flags fly here, and that play was in trouble to begin with. It's going to be a false start.
False start against the Titans.
So it's going to be 1st and 15, but I think Ferguson, unless he managed to escape, was looking at losing yardage anyway. Although you never know with Trey Ferguson, he may have been able to be Houdini and get out of there. But the Tigers read that play well and had him pretty well hemmed in. So 1st and 15. 3 receivers to the left, 1 out to the right, and it's going to be a run, quarterback run. Toscano picks pretty much the 5 yards they just lost.
5 yards.
So 2nd and 10. As the clock will run, still 11:20 to go in this ball game. It's a pass out to the right, and it's incomplete as that ball was off the hands of A.K. Key. Good coverage there by Connor Lasan. It's going to be 3rd and 10. And will the Titans be able to take advantage of that bad snap on the previous punt by Woodbury? They get back to the line quickly. But now Toscano looks over for the play call. Throw it short to Ferguson. He puts his foot in the ground. What a move. Trey Ferguson is gone for another touchdown. There is a flag, though, and I think this one might be coming back. It's going to be ineligible man downfield. That is a tough one to swallow if you're a Titan fan, because that had no impact on the play. That play was just Trey Ferguson put his foot in the ground, changed directions, but somebody strayed too far from the line of scrimmage, one of the offensive linemen. So now 3rd and 15, and both teams making crucial mistakes. Woodbury with the bad snap on the punt, and now the Titans with a massive penalty after what would have been a touchdown. They go with a screen to Trey Grant. Grant makes moves. Grant's going to go. He's going to go. What a response by Trey Grant. 32 yards on the screen pass. And you, Sylvia, you've said it since our very first broadcast that when the ball gets in the hands of Trey Grant, good things happen.
Oh, yeah.
This time it's another alum, Joe Cruz, banging the gong. This is my favorite new Titan tradition. It's just started today, banging the gong after touchdowns. This was I don't know what it is. It just keeps catching me off guard, but it's I don't know if y'all can hear it at home, but we can certainly hear it up here. All right, another big extra point though.
Yeah. Talked about how these points are crucial.
Yeah, good snap. Kicks it a mile in the air, and it is good. It is good. I think that one went higher than it went long, but 42-28 now. So the Titans ultimately do take advantage of the turnover off the bad snap on the punt. Trey Ferguson touchdown was called back, but then they come right back. Yeah. Trey Grant gets into the end zone for the – how many touchdowns does Trey have today? Was that his first? He has a bunch of first downs.
Trey Grant's first. Trey Ferguson would have got that. I think that would have been a hat trick for him.
Yeah. Yeah, so Trey Grant getting in on the touchdown party. He deserves to get in. He's definitely, at this point, still 10:43 to go, but he's got to be one of the top candidates for a player of the game today on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
But the way Woodbury's moved the ball, this one is far from over for sure. And also be interested to see if Anthony Leo, the backup quarterback, comes back out or is it going to be the starter Harley Shuford who got his bell rung. All right, J.D. Stemhagen in here for the kickoff. He goes along the ground this time and scooped up by the Tigers. And it's a good return by Tank Yakubi. Yeah. Does a nice job bringing that ball out across the 30, across the 35. And it's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line.
James Woodward, I think a couple other times we were able to get in there to push Tank out of the field.
Yeah, he's had a great game as well, Woodward, on special teams and defensively. The one tough play where they were able to throw it over his head, but overall he's had a really strong game. So it is the starter back in. Harley Shuford, the junior quarterback out of Charlotte, is back in. That's good to see, and he has a nice little flare pass out to Donovan Baker, who's making some moves. Baker has a first down. Baker's across midfield, and he's finally pushed out of bounds by Mario Thompson. And it's going to be another flag. Another late hit out of bounds. We've had a few of those, and that's frustrating.
Yeah,
just giving
really
3 yards. It's a good run by Baker.
Yeah, really good run by Baker. I mean, he was able to really push back some of the Titan defenders there.
Yeah, so just to confirm, personal foul, late hit, out of bounds. And that's going to take it to, I think it's going to end up at the 32-yard line. Maybe the 33 for the Tigers. So they're one play from scrimmage, and they're already in a great position.
Yeah.
And Coach Mickens is going to go ahead and use the second timeout of this second half. I think he wants to, settle the defense down. Coach Rayner and Coach Taylor talking to the defenders, and Coach Mickens spending this timeout just talking to the officials. I think wants to get clarification on because they've been really quick to throw those flags. I mean, and it is tough like when you get to the sideline. So,
yep. Now, Mr. Hamlin, from like you being a coach, how do you think about this timeout? I mean, this is your second timeout out of 3.
Yep.
You know, fourth quarter timeouts are normally very important. How would you think about using this timeout with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter?
Well, clearly Coach Mickens thinks it's very important to get the defenders on the same page. And while you don't, I mean, you'd love to have all your timeouts to be able to stop the clock if you need to. With a 2-touchdown lead, I think at this point the priority is to stop them here. Because if you get a stop, it's not ball game, but you're getting awfully close. So if you were down 14, I would hate this timeout because if you're behind, you're going to need all your timeouts to stop the clock.
Yeah.
But with a 14-point lead, I think if Coach Mickens feels like he needs to get them on the same page, it's a good timeout. Now, Woodbury, though, comes out with another good play, a positive play, another pass out of the backfield, this time to Tank Yakubi. I believe he's another player out of Canada.
No, he's from New York.
Oh, okay, New York. My bad.
I did have to look that one up.
Well, parts of New York do border Canada. My bad. Thanks for the correction there, Silvio. I know you know your geography. Anyway, Tank with a nice catch there. Gets it into the red zone at the 18 as we roll just under the 10-minute mark. So I guess back to your earlier question, I think it's a good timeout if the defense then makes a stand.
Yeah.
But you don't love to burn that timeout and then give up a 15-yard penalty. But a great job there. No gain. Hunter Brooks all over that one. Meets the ball carrier right in the hole for a 0 gain. LJ Jones also in along with Brooks. 2nd and 10 as the clock will run. And Anthony Leo is also in the game. I mean, he'll be a receiver here, but we've seen that he has the ability to throw the ball as well. So I wonder if they have any trick plays that would involve. It doesn't look like it would be on this one, though, as Leo split out wide. This pass is caught for a short gain on the near sideline. That is Jaden Ferguson, who's made several big catches today. Ferguson picks up 4 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 here for the Tigers. And you got to think this is 4-down territory.
Yeah.
Being down 2 touchdowns, a field goal wouldn't do you a whole lot of good here. You'd still be 2 possessions. So I think this is touchdown or bust here for Woodbury, and it would be a massive stop if the Titans could get it.
Yeah.
Not a good snap, and he falls on it. Harley Shuford falls on it. Now, I said it was 4-down territory. I wonder if the fact that it's now 4th and about 15 changes anything. I still think they'll go for it, but it's a lot bigger mountain to climb for them here. That's a really unfortunate play for the Tigers. I think it was smart.
The previous play was a little low, so maybe the center.
Yeah, it was. The previous play was low, and Shuford did a nice job on the previous one. That's a good spot, Silvio, but this one was even lower. And I think he was smart to just fall on it. Sometimes you see guys try and pick that up
and run,
but if you try and pick it up, you really expose yourself to getting lit up. So I think it was smart to just fall on it. But this is a huge play as the Titan faithful look to make some noise. Shuford back to pass, and that's not going to get it done. His pass was just not on the same page with the receivers. Nowhere close to the intended receiver, and even if he caught it, it was nowhere close to a first down. So Titan defense stands strong, and now I think because you make the stop there, then I think it justifies the timeout.
Yeah.
You know, if Woodbury scores there, then we could easily second guess and say that you would rather have that timeout. But right now, points are even more important with a 14-point lead. So I think that Coach Mickens was wise to use the timeout, get the guys settled down after that penalty. And that is a massive stop. It's not over with 7.5 to go, but you got to be feeling really good if you're a Titan fan, having the ball up 14 points here in the 4th quarter. And they give it to Trey Grant.
Oh, yeah.
And Grant with another good gain of about 8 yards. I laughed because he seemed to almost invite the contact there. He, slowed down, and the defender who tackled Grant seemed to actually take more punishment than Trey did. He just loves contact. You can tell, and I mean that's a football player right there. Great for the program that he's only in the 10th grade, and look forward to seeing Trey continue to be out there for years to come. 2nd and 2. Back to Grant. This time he is thrown for a loss. You don't see that very often, but well anticipated by Jay Owens, the senior linebacker out of Lexington, Virginia, was able to throw Grant for a 1-yard loss. So it's going to be 3rd and 3. I'd like to see the Titans take a little time here with the clock running.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen a lot of running. I mean, the Titans' throwing game has also been really strong by a lot of good pressure by Brent Ridley and Trey Ferguson. So maybe you'll see that out here. But Trey Grant's also really proving really dominant in the running game.
Yeah, play clock running down to about 5. And they do hand off to Grant, and it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a little short, though. He's about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. So the Titans are going to punt. Now they took it over with 7:32 to go. By the time they get this punt off, it'll be about 5.5. So ran about 2 minutes off the clock, but a first down there would have been huge.
Yeah.
And credit to the Woodbury defense. They at 2nd and 2, I thought at a minimum that was going to be a first down. but
For sure.
the Tigers bowed up, made a stop, and I thought the Titans were going to punt, but now
Oh, yeah.
it's an interesting alignment. They have some receivers. They're going to snap it short, but whistles blow. And I think it's going to be a timeout by Woodbury.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that Woodbury sent their punt team out, and
Yeah, I
then
definitely did see that.
so
Didn't
they
catch his number, but Woodbury's wide receiver out there running back in to maybe stop. But
yeah, so I think the Titans showed punt, so Woodbury sent their punt team out, and then I think they saw that
it wasn't a
Trinity
punt.
wasn't going to punt. That was actually a really clever alignment. So it forces Woodbury to burn a timeout, and
especially for Woodbury, those are crucial. I mean, as you said before, like as you said, Coach Mickens, that would have been a bad timeout if they were down 14. And I mean, how do you feel about this one?
well, I think that I get if they thought he was going to get the first down and the defense wasn't ready, you have to call it. But it is a bummer if you're Woodbury because the play clock was down under 5 seconds. So if you're Woodbury, you wish you would have just called it at the end of the previous play. You would have saved yourself 30 seconds. So in that regard, it was a little bit of a chess match there, and kind of a advantage Trinity because you forced them to burn a timeout, but it didn't save them any time off the clock. But I still think they had to call it because if Titans got a first down, it would have been huge.
Yeah.
They are going to go for it, it looks like. Now, of course, Toscano is also the punter, but he looks to run for it. Is he going to get there? It's going to be tight. I don't think he got it. It'll depend on the spot. It's close. It's awfully close.
Since he just gonna reach with his arms there, I don't know if he. And it's
He did
get that
not get it. He's going to come up short. So good job by the Woodbury defense.
31 yard.
They're going to have good field position. So, again, now would I say that was a good timeout? Heck yeah, because they got aligned. They got the right personnel on the field, and they make a crucial fourth down stop. Toscano went with a play fake and tried to bounce it out wide, but great job by Woodbury. And I apologize, I didn't catch who the tackler was, but
it wasn't him.
he made a great play. Might have been John Hill. I'm not positive, but it was a great job by the Woodbury defense there. And now they take over. And they look to go big on the first play, and it's
It might be-
broken up. Yeah, Cornell Allen made a great play on the
Yeah.
ball. For a second, it looked like he maybe could even intercept
Yeah,
it. But
I thought that might have been cut from my angle.
yeah, but a good job by Cornell Allen. His coverage was awesome. He didn't make the interception, but he did a really, really solid job there. Good coverage, again, by Cornell Allen. I think Cornell also a really good baseball player, so excited to see him this spring out on the diamond, and he's been a really good safety in this Titan defense all year. 5:13 to go, 2nd and 10. Schufer back to pass. They will go end zone again. Similar play. Cornell's going to get another shot, and this
Cornell might have
time,
that one.
oh, he didn't get it.
Ah,
It is an incomplete. It is an incomplete. That time he came closer.
yeah.
Thought he had it, but when he hit the ground, the ball popped loose. So the Tigers catch a break that they
Definitely have a lot of
get new life.
strength on Landon Ellis there. I mean, probably one of their biggest receivers, not able to catch those. Got to be a little upset for Woodbury.
Yeah, I think that was the exact same play, looking for Ellis in the end zone, testing Allen, and he's been in perfect position. Now, a cynic might say he could have had 2 interceptions, but you got to give him credit that he was in a position to even make those plays. The play clock down to 3, 2. They do just get it off. This time it's a QB keeper, and they don't get very far. But there is going to be a late flag, and I think it's going to be like a helmet to helmet, which it actually was. I think it was
just upset there.
it was 2 Titan players who collided helmets, but Woodbury was asking for a penalty, and the referees oblige with a personal foul call.
That on my first down.
Well, I will say, I guess he gave himself up with the slide. So at that point, I think you got to lay off. So I guess that is the right call. But I do think that actual helmet to helmet it looked like Hunter Brooks collided with John Brooks, I think. Anyway, that's a huge penalty. It would have been 4th and about 7. Instead, it's first down at the 15-yard line. for the Tigers. Good pressure.
Oh,
Erlenbach gets a hand on it, but it's still caught by Baker. But for very little gain, John Brooks makes the tackle. LJ Jones was in on it as well.
yeah. Got to give credit to Baker there. Really good movement, really good reaction time there. Even after the handed throw from Cornell, he was still able to catch that one.
Yeah, so it ends up being a 1-yard gain. Yeah, that play could have gone any number of ways. Could have been picked off, but pretty well defended by the Titans. Still only just a 1-yard gain. But you're right, a great catch by Baker because that ball had a weird spin on it after the contact from Erlenbach. This time they connect out wide for a gain of 5 yards.
Myra Thompson on that one.
Yeah, Thompson with the tackle. It is
Reception.
Tank Yakubi with the reception out of New York. Massapequa, I think that's Long Island.
Cooper Gardner going out there.
Yeah. It's third and 4, and they've stopped play, but I haven't seen the officials make a signal yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone called a timeout or it might be an issue with the
Maybe.
play clock.
Maybe, I'm not. 4.
I think
They're saying 406 maybe.
Yeah, I thought he was asking for 4:07 on the game clock. I think that's what I saw. Be nice. 4:06
6 or 7.
I think it's 6. So neither team called a timeout, but they're getting a break in the action as the clock gets reset here. Coach Banworth to the rescue to get the scoreboard settled.
Coach Banworth definitely helped out yesterday with the pep rally.
4:06. Yeah. Coach Banworth was amazing at the pep rally yesterday. And now he is getting the scoreboard set.
6.
And once we get this straight, this is going to be a really key play, Silvio.
Yeah, I mean, after
3rd and 4.
After some fouls, definitely I can't be happy about those, but, you know, Titans stop in here, 4 minutes left.
Yes, if the Titans get a stop, that would be.
I would say game.
Yeah, I probably. I mean, the Tigers do still have 2 timeouts, but 3rd and 4, definitely 4-down territory now. Even if they don't get it, they'll certainly be going for it. Let's see what happens. They go out wide to Tank. He makes a nice spin move. He didn't get in the end zone, but I think he got the first down.
Yeah.
So first down, yes, but not a touchdown.
I do believe the Titans have 1 touchdown, the Tigers have 2.
Yeah, it's timeout. You mean? Yeah.
But yeah,
It's going to be 1st and goal from the 1.
yeah, close. Maybe a QB sneak here.
All right, sorry, we're just again. I think a little bit of confusion on the clock.
Yeah.
3:40, 3:47. All right, so it's going to be for 1st and goal from the 1. And now the clock will run as they get the ball set. They hand it off. Good job getting in the backfield. He didn't get there.
Yeah.
John Brooks got in the backfield to hit Baker. Baker was able to fall forward back to the line of scrimmage, but still going to keep that clock running. 2nd and goal. This time it's a QB sneak, and he is in for a touchdown. Harley Shuford you got to give Shuford a lot of credit.
Yeah.
He took a hard hit a few minutes back, had to go out of the game for one series, but Shuford is back in. He's made some great throws, and there he sticks his head in the pile
for sure.
and reaches that ball out for a touchdown that keeps the Tigers very much alive. 3:22 to go, and this extra point, if they're able to connect, would cut it to a 7-point margin. Perfect snap,
Yeah.
and the kick is
It is
good.
Point after is good. 42-35.
Well, we have been so fortunate this fall on TESPN to have some really exciting contests. We've had a couple awesome soccer games that came down to the wire, including the senior day win over Veritas that Titans scored a winning goal in the last 2 minutes. We've had a couple awesome field hockey games. But football, we had a phenomenal volleyball game against Stab on senior night. But football, this is the first close game we've gotten to see,
That's
and
true.
it is really exciting. And, you know, sometimes on homecoming, it almost becomes more like of a social event, and people are only halfway paying attention to the game. Well, I can assure you that's not the case today. Everybody is locked into this one-possession game, and it's going to be huge for the Titans here to cleanly field this kick. And then if they can get a couple first downs, they can salt this thing away. But if Woodbury can make another stop and the Tigers being able to get off the field on fourth down on the previous possession keeps them in the game. You know, if Toscano could have gotten there, it would be just about a wrap. But instead, the Tigers made the stop. Quickly were able to get in, aided again by another personal foul. I think been 4 of those in the second half. So plus a pass interference. So coaches are not going to be happy with those penalties, or else this thing might be done and dusted already. Big kick goes into the end zone, and so it'll come out to the 20. Another great kick by Osada, and that was, if anything, into the wind. So he's got a big leg, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Also, all the more reason you want to avoid overtime, just because if it were to go to overtime and kicking became a factor,
Osada might have this game under his hand.
he's a legit kicker. Toscano does a great job as well, but Jack is a quarterback by trade who is also a good kicker. Osada is a kicker. All right, but if the Titans are able to get a couple first downs here, then we won't have to worry about overtime. So, you know, these guys need to get this thing done so they can clean up for the, get back for the dance. Trey Grant with another good run. This one goes for, it's going to be marked at the 20, about the 23 and a half. We'll call it a 4-yard gain. And now the clock is running. Tigers elect not to call a timeout here. As, of course, they burned one earlier, so they're going to try and save the timeouts. I would look for them possibly to call one on the next play if the Titans don't get a first down.
Yep.
And then Trinity also still has one timeout. So if they, had to use a play clock down to 5. And it's a run to Trey Grant. It's a good run. It's a big run. It's a first down. And more all the way out to the 40-yard line. That is a huge one.
Oh, yeah.
Grant is a little bit shaken up on the play, though. Great run by Trey Grant, but he is down. He looked to be holding, I think it's cramping. That is good news long term, because I thought he was maybe holding his knee, but I think he's just cramping up. He tried to get off the field now. This will, of course, stop the clock while they attend to Grant. But I think the Titans could get one more first down, even with Woodbury's 2 timeouts. That would just about do it.
Especially with Jack's play style, he might like to score.
That's true. Well, a touchdown would also just about do it as well. So, let's just kind of reset and put things in context as they deal with Trey Grant looking like he has some cramps here.
And you just look at the student section. How do you still pretty packed? People
It's
trying to go set
not
up for
as
homecoming.
it's not as packed as I would like it to be. It looks like a few folks have maybe looked to get a jump on getting ready for dinner and such on homecoming. It's still solid, but it's not as full as it was, I must confess. But yeah, I was gonna say, so let's remind our viewers what's at stake in this game. Titans, if they get a win, clinch a state playoff bid, keep themselves at least alive to possibly host a home playoff game, and would get a first win in program history
Against Woodbury.
against Woodbury.
So a lot on the line here. I mean, especially, not only would they would like to be Woodbury, but they would really like to go to the state. Playoffs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, back at it. This handoff goes to Mario Thompson. He lost a yard, and now Woodbury is going to use their second timeout with 2:08 to go. St. Stephen St. Agnes did win today, so I think that for now they'll hold on to second. The Titans don't play next week, but St. Stephen St. Agnes does play again. They played Georgetown Prep, who's a team that beat Woodbury earlier this year. It's a pretty good competition, and if they lose that, it's going to be super tight. It's all a point system. We would love to be able to host a state game here, but I too close to call. And while we have this timeout, let's also let our viewers know about upcoming broadcasts, because we got a big week coming up. We've got on Tuesday, LIS field hockey semifinal. Titans won the regular season championship again, so they'll host either Stab or St. Gertrude on Tuesday. If they win that LIS field hockey championship back here at Aycock Stadium on Thursday, and then on Friday, we believe that boys soccer won't be confirmed till tomorrow, but should have an opportunity to host a state playoff game as well. So big week for TESPN and for Titan Athletics in general. As Toscano's pressured, he's going deep, up for grabs. It is. Is it picked off? I think so. What a play. Interception by Woodbury. Number 19, Jarrett Clark, the sophomore, with a huge interception. And Woodbury still is going to be able to retain that last timeout. They're going to get it back with just under 2 minutes to go, 1:59. And it's going to come down to one possession. Can the defense make the stop to preserve the win?
There is a man down in the play.
Yeah, it looks.
It's
Asa McManamy, the junior out of Savannah. They're looking at his ankle.
It looked like his right.
He's up, so that's again good. He's walking under his own power. A little bit of help from the training staff, but a little bit of a limp, but he looks pretty good. So if his family is watching down in Georgia, he's walking off.
Yeah.
And I love Savannah, so shout out to you guys down there if you're watching. All right, 1:59 left in the game. Trinity, 7-point lead.
Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, they went for the home run.
Definitely
You complete that pass, it's over, but now you're giving them a chance, and that's a nice throw and catch.
Nice throw.
And caught by Landon Ellis. It's a gain. It's about 10. It is a first down right at the sticks. So it'll give them a first down at the 32. And 1:54 to go. He also was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock. So that's pretty much a perfect play for Woodbury there. Similar play where the comebacker, and that one's right at the sticks again. 10 more yards. So these first couple of plays have gone just what you would have wanted if you're a Tigers fan, a Woodbury fan.
Yeah.
As two 10-yard gains has put them out at the 42-yard line. Titans just rushing 3. This is overthrown and going to bring up second down.
Yeah.
Pretty good coverage there as Trey Ferguson is back in the defensive secondary. Ferguson, of course, most known as a wide receiver, kick returner, but they've got Trey Ferguson playing out on the cornerback position right now. And I think with Cam Fleming sidelined with an ankle, just trying to get the best possible athletes you can on the field.
Yeah.
All right, 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped right now with 1:31 to go. Another throw out to the sideline, but this one only goes for 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Looked like the cornerback there, James Woodward, did not give quite as much cushion as he'd been giving on those previous 2 plays.
Yeah.
So instead of giving up 10 yards, it's just about 3, and it's going to be 3rd down. Clock is stopped as he was able to get out of bounds with 1:27 to go. And Woodbury's got 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Titans bring a little bit of pressure. They go deep. Trey Ferguson with the cover. Trey Ferguson with the interception. Yep. And that is now they've changed it to incomplete. Wow. Ferguson thought he had the pick. We thought he had the pick.
Everyone thought he had the pick.
Everyone thought he had the pick, but the Woodbury coaches were sprinting down the sideline to say that ball hit the ground. And I think that's one of those where if you're an NFL fan, like when they changed the rule a few years ago about completion of the catch, like I think you have to retain it even if you roll over. So it's 4th down. I mean, the interception would have been nice, but the Titans can still clinch a victory if they can make a stop here. 4th and 7.
Long pass for here. See what the Titans can do, though.
He looks to the near side to Ferguson. He dropped it. And that is going to be the ball game.
I mean, what a close, good game, though.
Absolutely. And that ball does turn over on downs. And the Titans are going to hang on for really a huge statement win against this Woodbury Tigers team. Great ball game. A lot of credit to Woodbury for fighting from 14 points down on multiple occasions. But the Titan defense needed a final stand, and they got it.
Yeah.
As Ferguson was right near the first down sticks, Jaden Ferguson, but I think he was really focused on his footwork and just lost a little concentration on the ball. So Woodbury can only stop the clock once, so this should do it as Jack Toscano takes a knee. And the clock will run. I was curious if they would use that timeout, but I think they're just going to let it roll.
Yeah.
Titans will just have to snap it one more time. And this should move the Titans to 6-3.
Yeah.
And more importantly, be a really program-defining win over a team that has had Trinity's number for years. So big win. And Toscano will take the knee one more time, and that should do it.
Really
on this homecoming. Great game. So the Titans will remain also undefeated at home. Man, we would love to be back here in 2 weeks. We'll see. I guess Trinity fans have to beat Georgetown Prep fans next week and hope they beat St. Stephen, St. Agnes, and then that hurts them enough to drop them in the poll and bring the Titans back up to second, as St. Christopher's has that number 1 seed, I think, on lockdown.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what a game, Sobio. So as the buzzer goes, what are things you remember from this game and players that stand out for you?
Trey Grant. I mean, when I think of this game, I think of Trey Grant, as well as, Brian Rizzi as another young sophomore player. I think, Brian Rizzi's catch was really good, but I think Trey Grant, I mean, he pulled away with so many positive yards and so many runs. I really do think that I think of him.
Yeah, Trey Grant had a tremendous game. So many big runs. And then for me on the defensive side, I think James Woodward had a great game. I mean, there was the one time that he wasn't able to make the play, but he just is so active. Had some great tackles, really good coverage. Even on that last play, they tried to pick on him, but he hung tough. And then also just those interior defenders, guys like John Brooks, Lewis Jones, Hunter Brooks.
Lewis Jones had a really good game. I think that
Lewis Jones had a bunch of tackles. So I think those are the difference makers for sure. And I mean, you don't want to take Trey Ferguson for granted, who had a couple touchdowns as well. Jack Toscano with a rushing touchdown and I think 3 or 4 passing touchdowns. Also, Jack Toscano making a bunch of key extra points in a game when every point mattered. So a lot of guys stepped up. It was a fun one.
For sure.
Silvio, it's been a blast doing this together this fall, and hopefully we'll get one more opportunity.
Hopefully, yes.
But if not, just like Trey Grant is only a sophomore and Brendan Ridley's only a sophomore, you're only a sophomore. So hopefully we'll have the opportunity to do this, if not in 2 weeks, at least for the next 2 years. And sadly, Jeffrey Bell is a senior, our producer extraordinaire. So, Jeffrey, I hope this is not your last football broadcast. But, again, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the seeding for states. But the Titans can be all but assured that they are going to be in that state playoffs in 2 weeks. So they'll take a week to heal up. Most teams are playing next week, but our bye week happens to fall in this last week of the regular season. So hopefully get Zaire Rayner healed up, Cam Fleming.
And it does give them a little more time to get ready, more practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. So great game today. We will be back on the airwaves Tuesday for the field hockey semifinals. And hopefully Thursday, if field hockey is able to get the championship. And hopefully Friday, provided that boys soccer gets the home state playoff berth that we think they will get. But we can't confirm that just yet. All right, well, on a homecoming Saturday, the clouds got dark. The mood was foreboding. The game could have gone either way, but the Titans hung tough to get win number 6 on the season and win number 1 over Woodbury in a series that has been dominated over the years by the Tigers. And great job by the whole Titan team to hang on to that one. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate all our viewers and fans. Any Titan students who might be catching the end of the game, hope y'all have a great homecoming night and enjoy the dance and dinner and any other festivities that go along with that. And for any alums, can't wait to see you all back on campus. And on this homecoming Saturday, your final score, Trinity Episcopal 42, Woodbury Forest School 35. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.